Welcome back to Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii. The 31st time the game has been played here in America's 50th state. And the brother-in-law to Brian Billick, none other than Atlanta Falcons head coach Mike Smith, leading his team to a 13-3 year. In his 3 years as head coach, 3 straight winning seasons. That's never happened before in Falcons franchise history. And of course, one of the game's legendary head coaches on the AFC side, 58-year-old Annapolis, Maryland native Bill Belichick, the 10th most wins all time among coaches in the NFL. But you know, both of these guys, Brian and Terry, would rather be coaching a week from today in Dallas, Texas.
Well, my question is, does this go on your record? Does the Pro Bowl on the coach's record? You know, we're held accountable for everything. This one's on my record. I'm coming in here with a little bit different demeanor.
Well, Belichick already said, what, I'm 2-0 in these, and I don't want to leave here 2-1.
Well, the fact that he keeps track of it tells you that it is important. He knew that.
Great to have Terry Bradshaw as part of our broadcast crew up here in the booth here today. For many, many years, for those who don't remember, heck, you've been on the NFL on Fox pregame show for 17 years. You did games for a long time.
You know what? The strike time, I did them like 8 years over at CBS, and then went in, or maybe 6 years, and then went into the studio over there when they kind of shook that thing up. And I've always said, this is where you start. You're brought to y'all. You ought to be in the booth. You ought to be calling games.
Of course, 3 times in your career you had a chance to play in the Pro Bowl. You talked a little bit about that during the pregame show. Brian, you never had a chance to coach a Pro Bowl.
No, but you know the guys, and it's typical when you have players selected to the Pro Bowls. A lot of times they'll bring their position coaches over, and when you visit with the guys, you know that's a great thing. It's an important thing. You get around these great athletes. You forget because you're so immersed into it. This is the best of the best. When you get a chance to meet with these guys, visit with these guys, it's something special. It really is.
And this is not a game you want to coach.
No.
You don't want to be a coach in this game. You want to be the next one in the Super Bowl. That's where you want to be.
Well, the NFC won the toss, selected to receive, so Billy Cundiff of the Baltimore Ravens will put the foot on the ball, and Devin Hester will, why not, run it out. It's a Pro Bowl. Hester not going to take a knee, although he is wrapped up and spun down at the 9-yard line. Michael Vick, a first-round pick back in 2001 by the Atlanta Falcons, went to 3 Pro Bowls by wearing an Atlanta uniform, but of course spent time in prison, was out of the game for 2 years, signed as a free agent last year, and had his best season ever as a quarterback in Philadelphia. An all-Atlanta backfield, Michael Turner and Obi Mihaly. Roddy White, a Falcon as well. And up front, Andre Gerard from Dallas starts his 5th consecutive Pro Bowl. Then going down the field, looking for Calvin Johnson, and it's nearly intercepted. Batted away by the rookie from New England, Devin McCourty.
Well, why not go vertical right from the get-go? You got a huge guy like Calvin Johnson, put it up. Great recovery by McCourty. He knew exactly where that ball was going. He was just waiting for it to come down.
Just a slightly underthrown ball. I mean, look at Michael kind of pulled it back, said, oh my God, he's going to come wide open. Underestimated his speed.
Tony Gonzalez, a tight end, playing in his 11th Pro Bowl, split wide to the right, but they're going to hand it off to Michael Turner, who led all NFL running backs in rushing attempt with 334 of them defensively for the AFC. And naturally, you're going to have guys that were originally named to the team that are off because of injury or participation in the Super Bowl. Vince Wilfork back for a 3rd straight year. How about Ray Lewis? 11 Pro Bowls, the most by a linebacker all time. And the rookie Devin McCourty gets a start in the secondary. How about that for a rookie year?
Well, that's pretty cool.
Just the rookies in here, you can imagine. They're right now, they're just trying to size it up. How does this game work? What am I supposed to be doing?
On a 3rd and 2. And it's incomplete on the attempt to Larry Fitzgerald. So the NFC will punt it away.
This should be a game that all our viewers ought to enjoy, these quarterbacks and receivers, simply because there's no blitzing. It's just zone defense. Good coverage right there.
Yeah, and Larry Fitzgerald, obviously, the key. You got some big receivers in this game, Terry. How'd you like to be able to throw in a 6'5" Calvin Johnson, a 6'4" Larry Fitzgerald? Just put it up somewhere in the region. You know they're going to come down with it.
Lynn Swan wasn't that tall.
No, Lynn wasn't, but the Stallworth was around 6'2". Jim Smith was around 6'2". Oh, nice kick.
Matt McBride. And it takes a bounce and bounces right by Mark Mariani. And he's dropped at the 10-yard line by Devin Hester. So the AFC gets a ball for the first time, led by San Diego Charger Philip Rivers. Already his third Pro Bowl. 4,710 passing yards, most in the NFL, and that's 3 years in a row. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards. The duo from Houston, Foster and his lead blocker, Vontae Leach in the backfield. Reggie Wayne is playing in his 5th straight Pro Bowl from the Indianapolis Colts.
You know, I'm excited to see Rivers. I saw him throw and warming up, and this is the guy that I've always said was going to be one of the tops to play.
Well, you can see him throw it right from the start.
Yes.
That's Brandon Lloyd for a first down up to the 25-yard line. Defensively for the NFC, Julius Peppers, his 6th Pro Bowl, his first as a Chicago Bear. DeMarcus Ware led the NFL with 15.5 sacks. And former teammates in Arizona, Antrell Roll, now a Giant, joining Adrian Wilson at the safety position.
White 20.
Arian Foster did that the entire year for Houston, picks up close to 7.
You know, I got to tell you, Terry, and I'm with you, Philip Rivers, you got to love what this guy does. But I think all these quarterbacks bring into sharp focus the different styles. I mean, you look at these 6 guys, you can't say, oh, okay, this is a prototypical pro quarterback. They all do it in different ways.
Yeah, they do. And most of them are big with the exception of Michael Vick. He's obviously 6 feet.
Well, these other guys are at 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". Foster out of the backfield, and that's good going for a first down up to the 38-yard line.
Well, we talked about the rule changes for this game, guys. Offensively, they're not real prohibitive. You got to have a tight end in the game. No motioning or shifting. The 3 wide receivers, they've got to be in a 2-by-2 or 2-by-1 set. Can't put all 3 on one side, and you can't throw the ball away intentionally.
51 right, set. White 20. White 20. Done.
Foster, his 2nd straight reception. That's a pickup of 6. How about on the defensive side, Coach?
Yeah, that's where it gets interesting. Terry, tell me how much you would have loved to have these rules in play. You got to have a 4-man front.
Got it.
You can't have more than 4 DBs on the field at a given time. I know you're going to like this one. No blitzing and no press coverage until you get inside the 5-yard line. Could you live with that?
Yes, I could. I like the fact that you just line up out there. You know, when I was in Pittsburgh, we just lined the guys up, no motion or anything. I thought it was easier to recover just by keeping people stop, you know, just solid. Don't move them.
Foster runs into Justin Smith of the 49ers, looking around for a hold. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Of course, you know, we can talk about the rules, but Terry, we were heading around with you yesterday, and you talked about, hey, I had a Pro Bowl game where everybody had these rules about no blitzing, but
we're down at the goal line, and one of the Cowboys, which we had just won the Super Bowl, had beaten them, and they had a hard time getting to me, and they blitzed. You're not supposed to blitz. Just nailed me. Got me down and said, you know, I got you. You know what this time. I said, wait, you're not supposed to be blitzing, man. Pretty funny then.
Oh, that's good stuff. 3rd and 5. That's Montel Owens for the Jacksonville Jaguars on a first down reception crossing midfield. We can tell already all 6 of our quarterbacks are wearing microphones. Let's listen in to the play call by Philip Rivers inside the huddle.
12 personnel. That means they got 1 tight end, 2 backs.
Bob right, flea flicker, X pistol, Z dot.
Oh, something's coming, baby.
Hello, wake up,
Something's
America.
coming.
Bill Belichick told us yesterday that Arian Foster can throw the ball,
51's Mike.
perhaps using him as a decoy here.
This is either going to be a pitch back to the quarterback. Yep, and here comes the vertical shot.
Doesn't have it. Nobody open. You know, Brian, normally when you do a flea flicker, you're trying to get deep. If that's covered, you normally have something on the inside that's open to give you a safety valve. Look, nobody open.
Yeah, they're not buying this.
No.
And when you got to stay in that 3 deep, you're hoping for some other type of coverages. Maybe man. Can't play man in this game. I used to drive me nuts to run those double reverse pitch back passes and you dump it off for 5 yards.
Yeah, work on them all week long. Convince your team they're going to work in the game. You get in the game and they either go incomplete or intercepted.
51's Mike.
That was the first incompleted pass by Phillip Rivers. He's hit on 4 out of 5. Foster again. And was he whistled down? Is the ball loose? If it's loose, it appears to be recovered by the AFC close to the 40. Monte Leach jumping on top of it.
And we'll remind the fans here that there is no replay in this game. So it falls into the hands of the officials. Yeah, look, boy, I tell you what, if we were going to replay that one, I'm not sure he'd have been down. But that one, we got to live with the call. The NFC or AFC ended up recovering anyway, but there is no replay in this game. Therefore, I can't get mad at the officials.
Say white 20. White 20. Touch.
3rd and 2, Rivers to throw it. Lofting to Foster down the sideline. And he had to bait it away from John Beeson, who was in coverage. How do you go for it on 4th and 2?
Yeah,
Why not?
In this game, why not? You know?
Well, we already know Belichick said, I don't want to come out of here 2-1. You know, so does he?
Tell you, Bill Belichick was getting after some people during practice this week. Brian Terry, when we met with him the other day, he certainly let it be known to some of the players on his team, I better see some effort in this game.
Yeah. Well, and it's a little like herding chickens, too. You know, these guys are over here.
Are you telling chicken
Trying
stories?
to keep them all together going in the same direction now.
So they will go for it on 4th down. And incomplete for Chris Johnson. Before we go to break, everybody wants to know when he just said that. Have you ever herded chickens, Terry Bradshaw?
No, I have not. I've never heard or herded chickens. I've heard some chickens. I've never heard.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Looking at him, already know he can throw it.
physical
He's big,
Back in
physical.
Honolulu,
I wanna see
8:14 to
poise.
play in the opening quarter, and a scoreless game. Michael Vick remains at quarterback. There will be about a quarter and a half for Vick at the helm. He'll be followed in order by Matt Ryan, and then Drew Brees should play the final quarter or quarter and a half.
Ready. White 80. White 80.
Michael Turner for maybe 2 yards.
And with just a 4-man rush, this is the kind of game we ought to see Michael Vick go off a little bit at some point here, whatever length of time he's in the game.
75. Most teams go on 1-on-1. Most teams go, yeah.
Sounds like we're going to go vertical here, Terry.
All right, let's go.
Ready. 180. 180.
So 3 down the field very deep and dropped off to Michael Turner, and that's a first down. Ray Lewis wearing a microphone for us over on the defensive side of the ball. Let's listen into Ray. I beg your pardon, Ray out of the game. Gerard Mayo is checked in, replacing him.
Under 6. Under 6. Under 6.
All that means is the under front means the reduce is to the weak side. They can reduce the front, bringing the tackle down over the guard on either side.
Turner to the 42-yard line. Ray Lewis has come back into the game, and now we'll listen in on him.
Hey, Hey, under one rack. Under one rack. Hey.
That one under, again, that means a reduction of the weak side. Cover one on the top. That means they're going to bring someone down, a rat safety, try to get into a position that the quarterback doesn't expect him to be in.
And Howie's listening right now, and Howie hears reduced under. He would run. He expected running back to the bubble side, which would be tight end side.
Vic rolling, looking down the field.
Ooh, had it.
Incomplete. We had Devin Hester wide open.
Hey, that boy fast.
About with the success of a Michael Vick, and boy, this is the wave of quarterbacks in the future, and we got to get a guy like that. Well, hold on. There's not a lot of guys like that.
No, they're not.
There's not a lot of cats running around that have those types of abilities. You got to show me you can win in this league with a run-around guy. You got to be able to beat people from the pocket. He showed us this year that he could.
180. 180.
Austin checks in for the first time, a late addition to the NFC roster. And that's a first down catch to the 33-yard line. Foster was watching as Austin hauled it in.
You know, one of the questions that always been about Michael Vick was whether or not he could be a pocket passer, Brian. I think this year, as this was an example there, as he finds Austin on an O-cut or an out route, he stayed in the pocket, went through the coverage. That was the cover side, no under coverage, and he laid it out beautifully.
Vick is caught from behind.
Well, I think
Randy Starks. Pardon me, Coach.
No, not at all. In Philadelphia, I think they did a great job. That was a priority for him. He wanted to show that he could do that. You know, I had Randall Cunningham late in his career, and of course, not too many guys better outside the pocket than Randall Cunningham. And I knew Randall, that was very, very important. Got to the point we had to push him out of the pocket, saying, you know what, it's okay if you pull this thing down and run a few times, but he very much wanted to show he had that maturity as a quarterback, as is Michael Vick this year.
Oh, nice shot.
Batted down by Robert Mathis from the Indianapolis Colts. You know, Vick has had such an odd journey here. When you think about #1 draft pick coming out of Virginia Tech by the Atlanta Falcons, most people know after spending time in prison on dogfighting charges, gets out of prison in 2009, knows he's going to back up Donovan McNabb. He actually began this year, some do forget that, as a backup to Kevin Cobb. Then, of course, Cobb gets hurt, suffering a concussion. Vick gets a chance, has about a great 7 or 8 weeks, and then struggled to some extent down the stretch. But that's a laser to Roddy White and a first down to the 10-yard line.
This is a pass, Brian, that when I played, this was my favorite route, the deep ends. There it is. You drop, you set back, safety's out of the middle, linebackers can't get deep enough. There's a hole right there, a beautifully thrown ball. That 18 to 20-yard end, not only have you got to read the coverage and go away from the rotation, but you also have to have a strong enough arm to anticipate and drill it 20 yards. Mike did.
What a spectacular year it was, not only for the Falcons, but Roddy White. There's Obi Mahaley, one of his teammates. White with 115 career receptions this season, most in the league. Here's Ray Lewis again.
Gotcha, let's go. Hey, I'm Ray. Under one rack. Let's go.
That under one rat's a popular call. There again, man coverage one is typically man coverage. The rat, again, is referring to a free guy that they're trying to put in a position to catch the quarterback off guard. Maybe doubling up on a guy or just free roaming in the middle of the defense.
And Tony Gonzalez down to the far right. That's him on the slant. What a catch. And Gonzalez tries to stretch it over the goal line and appears to be about a half-yard short. That's money in the bank down near inside the 20, looking at Tony Gonzalez.
Great coverage. That was just great coverage. And you know what, Brian? Normally you read and say, I'm going right or I'm going left. You don't read that coverage. It's too close. You don't have enough room. You pick one side and go to it. He stayed on that side of Gonzalez. Covered well. He just drilled it in there.
Well, and I got a 6'5" Gonzalez. I'm looking, you know what? If I got a big guy and a little guy, I don't care what the coverage is. I'm going to that big guy.
Very close to the goal line, and it is a touchdown. And why not? Let the fullback get a little love. Obi Mahaley. You once had Ovi Moreeeee, Coach Billick.
Yeah, I can tell you what, he came out of Wake Forest. What a great kid, and was constantly, Coach, I can carry the ball. Coach, I can catch the ball. And you know what, he could. The latter part of the year that we had him last year before where he went to Atlanta was a big part of the success we had. He is a good all-around athlete, but those fullbacks, it's a lost breed in the NFL right now. In your day, Terry, everybody had to have a fullback. Nowadays, most teams barely have a fullback on the roster.
My fullback is in the Hall of Fame, Franco Harris. Fullback. A lot of people think he was a tailback. He was a fullback.
Only 13 rushing attempts the entire season for Moreeeee. He gets a ball here and a touchdown in the Pro.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by GMC, the official vehicle of the NFL.
Well, we have had spectacular weather here in Honolulu throughout the entire week until late this morning, early this afternoon, when clouds rolled in for the first time, brought us some rain. But things are dry right now. Ovi Moreeeee, a touchdown to give the NFC a 7-0 lead. Still in the opening quarter from Aloha Stadium. David Akers puts a left foot on it. Mark Mariani, 4 yards out of his own end zone. And a look out for Mariani. To the other side. And all the way up to the 48-yard line. Mariani returned both a kickoff and a punt for touchdowns this season. 52 yards on the return here.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. By Drive Angry, shot in 3D starring Nicolas Cage, in theaters February 25th. And by GMC, the official vehicle of the NFL.
Right along the Pacific Waikiki Beach. And about half-hour car ride from there sits Aloha Stadium.
Here we go. Left side. Over trio. Over trio. Calls right. Calls right.
Phillip Rivers in the AFC back on offense, trailing the NFC 7-0.
Set. Like 20. Like 20. Set.
And it's intercepted by London Fletcher. And Fletcher still on his feet to the 43-yard line. Fletcher waited 11 years to get to his first Pro Bowl. Out of John Carroll University. And that's his first Pro Bowl interception. The tip pass right into his arms.
Right, Jay Ratliff is the one who's got his hand on that. You hated that as a quarterback. When this thing gets bounced up, you can see him right inside. He's going to reach that big paw up, send it right up in the air, and London Fletcher got himself an easy rebound.
You know, the problem with this, you see batted balls like that. That was a good read by Rivers, and the receiver was wide open, but that's an interception. I also hate it when the receiver drops it, pops in the air. That's an interception. You know, as a quarterback, defending quarterbacks, you know what? I have a hard time with that.
You're like the only innocent man in prison, though, right? Quarterback who never threw an interception.
Oh, no. Hey, that's a good line. I like that. Can I use it?
You can
Thank you.
We'll hear it Sunday in our
You got to give me credit the first
show.
time, and then you can use it.
Hey, listen, since I was just a run, you know, I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. My family's kind of a colorful family. But is it just me, or is these the ugliest uniforms you've ever laid your eyes on? Who in the world decided this was Pro Bowl uniforms?
Well,
Anybody got an idea?
I like the red
You
ones
like
better than
that?
the blue one. The red ones I like.
With red and blue. I mean, what are you going to do?
You know, I'm all about style. That's
I
pretty
can tell.
ugly stuff, man.
And Hester keeps both feet in bound. That's a first down to the 31-yard line.
That's sweet stuff right there, Brian. Safety comes up, corners drop off. Pick your poison as a quarterback.
Well, and they give up enough of this underneath stuff. You know we're going to see a double move going vertical and behind it at some point.
Terry, do you believe that one team should wear gold and maybe the other wear black? Would that be better?
No, but hey, the Steeler uniforms, they're pretty sharp.
Yeah, they are sharp.
So it's Green Bay.
Vic looking around. Too high for Larry Fitzgerald. Let's go downstairs to Tony.
All right, guys, I'm here with Coach Belichick. By the way, that's a great lay that you got. Where'd you get that?
Yeah, I got that from you, man.
You were saying, wonder how wonderful I was smelling.
You have great fragrance down the line.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you telling me. And we're good with our manhood. We're very good with that. How do you like what the guys are doing so far offensively? You had an interception, but
yeah, we got stopped on 4th down. We had an interception, so yeah, we got to get it going.
Anything on offense that you're looking forward to? Any trick plays or anything? I saw something.
We ran the flea flicker. We got a couple of reverses. We got plenty of stuff in.
All right, Coach, I'll let you get back to work. This is tough work. Back to you guys.
Well, Adrian Peterson, a first down to the 15-yard line. Of course, Peterson, a Pro Bowler in each of his first 4 NFL seasons. He was the MVP here 2 years ago. What a runner he is.
Well, they just run a little draw action here, obviously, with just a 4-man rush, just a delayed draw to Adrian Peterson. He takes advantage of it, and boom, he's got Ovie Mahaley leading up on it, just like an ISO play. I got to give credit to Goose, though. That's more than I've heard Belichick say in about 3 years.
And he had a smile on his face.
And he had a smile
yeah,
on his face.
That's good.
Peterson cuts it back the other way, and into the end zone goes Adrian Peterson.
You're going to see here on the run, Jason Babin on the backside, just a little casual in the way he came upfield. You got to close this down for the cutback. Didn't get it done, Adrian Peterson. Tell you what, he takes this game seriously. A couple years ago, he came in saying, you know what, I want to be the MVP.
Did it not look as though Babin was anticipating some form of reverse the way he came across?
Or it's going to, does Michael Vick pull it back down and get out around the edge?
David Akers from the Eagles with a point after to make it 14-0 NFC. Story goes 3 years ago, somebody offered Adrian Peterson a drink 3 days before the game. He said, not a chance, I'm here to win the MVP. And he did. See why the critics call Chicago Code far and away the best news show of the season. Corruption has taken their city, and these cops are going to take it back from the creator of the Shield. The Chicago Code. Series premiere Monday, February the 7th after House. Only on Fox.
Hey, you know what? Can I say, I enjoy this. You guys have done all the work. I found out, what, Friday? I'm going to join you. This is great. I'll sit in the background. Y'all do it all. I'll pop in and out. I like this.
But you're leaving out the line. Now.
What's that?
The line that I can steal stuff.
Oh, you're not supposed to say that. That was for you only.
I meant line. So, you know, you're the Barn and Billick line of a minute ago. That's what I thought you meant. Mariani. Second good return for him up to the 40-yard line. And standing by with Adrian Peterson is Jay Glazer.
All right, thanks, guys. Adrian, you're running out like you're trying to get another MVP award.
You know, I'm coming out here. I done enjoyed my week here. So, you know, it's Sunday. It's game time, so I'm going to go out and play hard.
You're out there with guys, obviously, you don't normally get to play with. See Michael Vick, Calvin Johnson. Who's the biggest freak of nature out here?
Woo. Oh, man, that's hard. You got to be between I got to give it to Vick. Calvin Johnson is a young beast. I got to give Vick the level because he's older. But Calvin Johnson is on that level, too.
Oh, well, keep running hard. I shake your hand, man, but you got the hardest. No, you got the hardest handshake in the world. Good. Thanks. Go back to you guys.
All right, Wes Welker with a reception. Jay, thank you very much. And Jay is not exaggerating when he says that. I think if you were to go ask the other players who's the biggest freak of nature that they're playing with, there are a lot of them might tell you Adrian Peterson. Yeah. There is not quite a handshake like that guy.
Well, what do you want? You want it nice and firm?
That's right.
Or you want it a little bit iffy? That's just, no.
Nice. Reggie Wayne to the 40-yard line, stopping the clock with 16 seconds to play in the opening quarter.
You know, the thing I appreciate about Reggie Wayne, you know, he was in the shadow of Marvin Harrison for a long time. And typically when a number 2 gets pushed into that number 1 position, it usually doesn't go well. But the way this guy stepped up, obviously very deserving of a Pro Bowl. This guy's a heck of a receiver.
When you think about it, the most prolific completion duo in NFL history are Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. You know who's number 2 now? Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne. And it's intercepted by D'Angelo Hall. Second interception thrown by Phillip Rivers, and it's brought out to the 24.
Well, Brandon Lloyd kind of lets this thing come down. I'd like to have seen him kind of go up and battle for this just a little bit more. Nice job by Hall coming underneath. Tell you what, the AFC's got to do something here defensively, because this thing can get out of control real quick.
Well, what Phillip could have done then, he knew the coverage and there was no one in the middle. He could have led that ball all the way across and given his receiver plenty of time to catch it.
Well, that will mark the end of the opening quarter from Aloha Stadium. 14-0 NFC. This Fox NFL Pro Bowl special will continue after these messages. 14-0 NFC in front. And a second turnover for Phillip Rivers, giving the NFC the football from their own 23-yard line. You've seen enough, you said, of Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, it's, you know what, Belichick, you got to go over there now and you go, get Rivers, get him out of here. Bring me Manning. I'll take Manning. Huh, not bad.
Well, change at quarterback for the NFC. Matt Ryan of the Falcons takes over. And he's looking for the home run ball, and Miles Austin, his first throw is intercepted. And in his rookie year, Devin McCourty, a Pro Bowler, and now a Pro Bowl interception.
You know what's kind of funny? Do they actually think that this is the weaker link?
Is that what it is?
Throwing deep on corner.
Because don't you go into every game, Terry, going, let's stay away from this guy?
Exactly.
Well, okay, which way do you go here? Because you're talking Pro Bowlers across the board here.
Miles tried to hold up, but he, like I said on the pregame show, he got here late. He got here Friday, so.
All right, you got your wish. Manning's in. They're listening to you. Coaches are listening to you.
Peyton Manning, 13 years in the NFL, the first overall pick in the first round back in 1998 out of Tennessee. First pass is caught up to the 35-yard line. Manning, a four-time National Football League most valuable player. This year, the 11th season, which he threw for 4,000 or more yards, and set an NFL record by completing 450 passes.
Do you know I made the Pro Bowl one year? I threw for 1,800 yards. That's embarrassing. How about that, Brian? 1,800 yards.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what this is different from Peyton Manning now. He's used to orchestrating the entire offense. He's got to call and run the play. Let's see what he does with this. I'm betting he changes a little bit. That whatever comes in, he's going to change it.
Let's go. Left slot. Act 3. 682. Z cross.
Play action fake. Play action fake with the Z coming across the field. Notice how Terry and I immediately jump on that. It's a whole nother language, Tom. We're on it. Little play fake with the Z in.
There's a play fake. And batted into the air and intercepted by Brent Grimes of the Falcons. So like McCourty playing in his first Pro Bowl. And picks one off from Peyton Manning.
Today's game is sponsored by H&R Block. Never settle for less. And by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
13:35 to play until halftime, and a 14-0 NFC lead. Third interception of the game. Two by Phillip Rivers, one by Peyton Manning. And that last one picked off by Brent Grimes out of Shippensburg. How many players, Brian, are coming out of there?
Oh, well, and I tell you what, that's part of the great thing about this game. You're talking about an undrafted free agent in 2006, and here he is in the Pro Bowl. There's a whole bunch of DBs that were drafted before this guy got a chance to even sign as a free agent. Here he is in the Pro Bowl.
Not the tallest of guys. You saw the touchdown pass he gave up in the playoff game against the Green Bay Packers. But if you just looked at the coverage, he was all over the receiver.
Steven Jackson from the St. Louis Rams comes into the game for the first time and picks up a yard. Matt Ryan playing in his first Pro Bowl, letting the Atlanta Falcons to the 13-3 record. Set career best in passing yards, completion percentage, and touchdowns. 28 of those.
You know, Tom and I have had this young man a couple times, Terry, and I just love what I see in this young man. I know he's not had a great playoff record so far, but he's going to get there. This guy is going to be a superstar. Got it written all over him.
Well, you know, in a day and age where we talk about stat after stat after stat, the bottom line is, are you winning games? And in 3 years in the NFL, this guy has 33 wins. That's tied for most in the first 3 years of a career.
Let's go, let's go. Hey, listen up. We got the double reverse here, the double reverse.
Oh, baby. Well,
Zero weak, fake 34 gut, X double reverse right. Ready?
You need to interpret that, Terry.
I think my people understood that. Double reverse right, folks.
Fitzgerald to Devin Hester, and he's inside the 30. Steps out of bounds at the 27. Just like you draw it up.
Yeah, you just and the double part of it, obviously we're going to see the guy come around here, then you get the little pitch coming back the other way. Would have been nice now to throw it back to Matt Ryan. I don't see Matt Ryan out there blocking. I know you were out blocking in front of those reverses.
No block here.
When you did that.
No, I wasn't big enough, strong enough for blocks. Every now and then give an effort, though, a little bit of effort.
115 times during the season, most in the NFL. Ryan found Roddy White, and that reception takes the NFC to the 6-yard line.
Well, Matt Ryan, we've seen this all year long. He got to be pretty comfortable now. He's surrounded by his guys. Tony Gonzalez at tight end, Roddy White. Roddy White really exploded onto the scene when Matt Ryan got drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. They started to develop that rapport, Terry, that you know you got to have with your receivers, and great combination.
Jackson for a couple of yards.
Going back to Roddy, one of the things, if you remember his first couple of years in the league, he was a disappointment. And Jerry Rice, his rookie year, the greatest receiver in the history, was a disappointment. But they worked with him, as Brian said, and only thing that had to happen with Roddy, he needed someone in there that could get him the football, and he did. And then he started making catches. His confidence grew, and this year was a great result of all that hard work he's done.
Tony Gonzalez. His 6th career Pro Bowl touchdown reception. That's the most all-time by a receiver or a tight end. And now a point after for making it a 21-0 game. What an unbelievable career this guy has had.
And you see it all the time. He's going to put him to the back of the end zone. They're going to put somebody underneath it. We've seen this all year long. Tony Gonzalez going up for a rebound like he's back at Cal, playing basketball, pull the coverage off from underneath, put it up high in the back of the end zone.
David Akers back out there to make it 21-0, which he does. Tony Gonzalez, the NFL's all-time leader in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns by a tight end, has another in the Pro Bowl. 21-0. Well, coming up next month, see NASCAR's biggest race like you've never seen it before at the newly paved Daytona International Speedway, where drivers can now go 3 wide. Sure to be the most competitive and exciting Daytona 500 in recent memory. It's on Fox and begins with a running of the Great American Race February the 20th, only on Fox. Driver Carl Edwards will be joining us at halftime. What a very nice young man he is. We had a chance to catch up with him in the hotel lobby a couple of times during our stay.
Yeah, he is a good guy. He won his last 2 races. You know, he won 9 races 2 years ago. Then he went no races, and then last year. He won the last 2 races, and then he asked his crew chief, what did we do right to get this thing going? And his answer, I really don't know. That's racing, though. That's how it works.
Here hanging out with his mom for a few days in Hawaii. Moreeeee brings it out to the 28-yard line, wrapped up by Roman Harper of the Saints. Manning trying to get it going for the AFC.
Today's game is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all.
He owed me $1.3 million. He's still racing.
Long way to go, 10:35 to play until halftime. And a 21-0 lead for the NFC. Stripped out of the arms of Wes Welker and picked up by D'Angelo Hall. And he will take it to the end zone, and that is a touchdown. 3 interceptions and a fumble the last 8 plays for the AFC. And that one run back 29 yards.
I don't know what happened here. Wes Welker, normally about a sure hander, and he's not going to be happy. This is just a little finishing just a little bit different. I don't know if he thought the whistle was going to blow or what. But clearly that ball was out. We don't need a replay for that. See right here, and he just thought he was going down. I guess he thought the whistle was going to blow.
Well, the AFC on their first possession drove 10 plays, went for it on a 4th and 2. And ever since in their last 8 plays, 3 interceptions and a fumble. And it's 28-0. Let's check in downstairs along the sideline. Back to Jay Glazer.
All right, guys, Tony Gonzalez had 2 touchdowns ago. Tony, this is what, your 26th Pro Bowl? How do you do it?
Well, you know, you eat right and you take care of yourself, Jay. I don't know. Maybe you can take a couple lessons, huh?
Well, no, I'm so. Hey, I'm telling you what, I was reading your diet book. That's what happened to me, buddy.
Well, it's not working, I can tell.
Hey, Matt Ryan, after he threw that touchdown, he said, finally, now the guy will leave me alone. Leave me alone, Gonzalez.
Well, no, I ain't going to leave him alone. He's going to hear it until I retire.
Hey, but they finally just took you off a kickoff, though. What is up with that?
I don't know. I told him I was a little too old to be doing that, so Miles Austin came in there and helped me out.
Good for you. Tony Gonzalez, go ice your knees or whatever, you know, you olden folks do.
Good luck.
What a remarkable athlete. Still has the build of a 25, 27-year-old.
Imagine this, Terry, 14 years in the league, he's missed 2 games.
Yeah.
And he said both of those, they made me miss.
Yeah.
He said the coaches pulled me, I could have played.
And for the Atlanta Falcon fans, his plans are to play 3 more years.
You know, I don't doubt it. This guy, and you know, we had him a couple times, and it was only, I say recently, within the last 4 or 5 years, that he had this kind of renaissance of his diet, his workout regimen. He recognized as an older player, you got to change things. Probably much like you in the latter part of your career. I know you changed your diet dramatically.
Yep, yeah.
Wanted to...
A lot of roots and nuts and cabbage, stuff like that. Thanks.
This time, Mariani's going to take a knee. Well, we invite you to visit NFL.com/SB45 to see the latest Super Bowl trending topics and buzz from players, teams, and fans. Join in on the conversation at NFL.com/SB45.
Let's hit this, man. Let's go now. Let's hit this now. Let's go. Go ahead, twins right. Stat line basic. 59 H still on 1.
59H curl should be 5 is a comeback route. The 9 is vertical, and he's got somebody running curl in there.
20. White 20. Stop.
That was the 9 route. I think we're about 1 or 2 plays away from Peyton Manning saying, forget what you're calling in. I'm going to make this up. I'm going to be a lot better off on my own. He's going to start putting it together the way he was.
Right, straight left, go one.
I didn't quite get it. Sounds like it might be a run.
Jamal Charles from the Kansas City Chiefs has checked into the game. And he will get the football from Manning. And nowhere to go. Told you we have 10 players wearing microphones for us on Fox here today, including the 6 quarterbacks and 4 middle linebackers. London Fletcher, one of them.
Shane, Reggie us! Shane, Reggie us! Shane, Reggie us! Shane, Reggie us!
Got me on that one. We'll have to figure out what this is.
Well, you offensive guys and your quarterbacks are limited in the whole scope.
You got 2 coverages and 1 front. I mean, how many different ways can you call it?
White 20! White 20!
And batted away. Outstanding coverage again by Brent Grimes, who had an interception on the last possession. So the AFC 3 and out will punt it.
Keep going. What did they know that we don't know? I have not seen anyone blow by one of these corners yet.
Yeah, and it can be as simple as the quarterbacks getting familiar with the range of their wide receivers. I don't know. I think I just drop back and throw it as far as I can until we got there.
Coach, you bring up an interesting point, and Terry, I'm curious. You know, in the 3 Pro Bowls you played in, when you got here, did you have a little bit of an adjustment period? I guess, for lack of a better term or question. Well, the different receivers you're working
Let me
with.
tell you one of the really good. I see Dan Fouts down here doing radio, okay? And we're here.
I tell you what, hold the thought.
We're going to break. I just heard that. Yeah, we're going to break.
Nothing, 9:20 to play until halftime. All right, Terry, you were starting to talk about getting used to receivers here at a Pro Bowl.
We're just getting used to the terminology, and I remember Dan Fouts and I were here, and Don Coryell was our coach, former coach of San Diego, and Don and what Dan said was, he said, look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every pass play had a circle on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all you do is go 1, open, throw it. 2, open, throw it. 1, covered, go to 2, covered, go to 3, throw it if he's open. And I said, now, this is great. This is how you do. This is how you run an offense. And all I did in that game, I didn't read a coverage, surprised. And I simply went through the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Never had more fun in my life. I had my best Pro Bowl. Thank you, Dan Fouts.
Did you ever get to 3? Or was it just?
Are you telling me I can't count?
No, I'm saying if 2 ain't open, I don't know if with my guys blocking. He also said, he told me about the Pro Bowl. He says, I had 5 linemen that got there because they were run blocking for Earl Campbell, and now we're throwing them all. I got LT and a Selman coming off the edge. I got sacked 7 times.
Matt Ryan, a pump fake, and then finds Mahaley.
And one of the things I think in the game like this, and I make fun of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they do have to, these quarterbacks do have to study. They do need to learn these plays, and then these receivers have to learn these plays. And if there are adjustments, I don't think there are, then you have to adjust yourself. And some of the reasons we're seeing interceptions, as I told Brian, the quarterbacks are just a tad late with the football. Guys are open, but they're just a little bit late. And that's just because they're not comfortable with one another, and certainly with the plays. Is that a good story?
It's a great story.
Thank you.
I mean, you were holding court yesterday afternoon with all the Pro Bowl stories. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Michael Turner wrapped up by Gerard Mayo.
Clear! Done! Alert, alert! Let's go, gun, double left, 75, both options. Alert, pick outside, boy. We're good, set, white 20. I told you, I got you, old boy. Got you, let's go.
Some of our Fox sounds of the game from the 2011 Pro Bowl here in Honolulu. Larry Fitzgerald, 6.
Well, Devin McCourty got caught peeking. He thought this thing was going to come in on the post. He leans in a little bit. See, he went to jump it, and then Larry Fitzgerald moves back to the outside. Nobody better in this league going up and bringing down a jump ball than Larry Fitzgerald.
Now, was that a, hey, Brian, was that a fade route, which should have been against bump coverage, or was that a takeoff from 15
I think
15
it was,
yards?
I'm going to go inside, but he went there, so I think I'll go back outside.
So he threw the hand
Matt,
out and
I hope you see it.
Okay, that's kind of what I was hoping you'd say.
So then where would that fall in line on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
No, that is definite. That would be definitely 1.
Let's go downstairs to Tony.
Hey, I'm here with Peyton Manning. Peyton, Terry Bradshaw said you guys are a little late on your throws. Anything you want to tell him?
Terry's got a pretty comfortable seat up there in that box. You know, he's got a good view of things, I guess. So we're certainly not doing too great. Down 35-0. That's pretty tough bind here in Pro Bowl. So there's some time left. We got to get hot. We have to go a little no huddle, get back in this thing.
There you go. You heard it right from the man. Back to you, Terry. Got anything for him?
He's doing great down there.
I can't believe Goose is stirring it up. That's so not him, you know. Just so contrary to personality.
Well, see, it's context. See, you can say he's late and you can have some anger about it, or you can just say
he's late. He's late. Come on, own it. Own it. He's late.
Don't be mad at me.
You know, on a serious note,
Right?
Brian Billick, it was 10 years ago yesterday where you coached the Baltimore Ravens to a Super Bowl title. Of course, Tony was on that team. Ray Lewis was on that team. Ed Reed, we're so sorry to hear the very sad news about his brother. He was supposed to have played in this game. Hard to believe, Brian Billick, it's been 10 years since you won that Super Bowl.
Boy, you're talking about feeling old. yeah, special times, you know, when you think back and to see Tony here, and obviously Ray, that puts in context. Ray Lewis, think about this now. 10 years ago, he's the MVP of the Super Bowl. Here it is 10 years later, he's in a Pro Bowl. Unbelievable, maybe one of the most unbelievable players I've ever been around in my career.
Well, it's 35-0. Looking forward to halftime when, Terry, we know all about your great Super Bowl success as a player, all those years with the Steelers. And Ben Roethlisberger will be joining us at halftime, and certainly so many issues that he had during the offseason, suspended to begin the year. But here he is back in the Super Bowl trying to win his 3rd ring.
I tell you, he's had an incredible year, and hats off to him. We know he's a great player, and he's just proven it this year in a huge game coming up in a week, man. Green Bay, Pittsburgh, Steelers, 2 storied franchises. I can't wait to get there and do the game.
Yeah, and I want to ask that. You know, everybody wants to emulate different. What about that organization? I mean, because it's not like, you know, prior to Chuck Noll getting there, it was a lot of losing. So it's not just the coaches. What is it about that?
Well, it was 40-something years of not playing championship football, and what they did was they got a front office in there, a staff of scouts that could go out and started recruiting the proper players, and they got Joe Green was the first that started. Chuck Noll came in '69 and did an incredible job of going out and seeing and scouting these players, and he knew what he wanted. And I think great coaches have a plan. They don't deviate from it. Chuck never did. He knew what players he wanted. He built his defense first, and then he had these great drafts. And unlike everybody worrying about the top pick in the draft, Chuck's brilliance and our scouting department's brilliance was the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, 6th round. And they've done that year in and year out ever since 1969 when they started putting all this together. It's been an amazing run.
Really,
and you know what? It's almost like it's not a run. It's just the way they are.
And the transition through the different coaches has got to be taking nothing away from the coaches, because obviously on to Bill Cowher, and I think obviously Mike Tomlin doing a phenomenal job. But it really is an organizational success.
And you know what? And I would like to sit down with Dan Rooney one day and say, go open up your safe and hand me that formula that you have for hiring coaches. He has not made a bad hire. He had Noel, then he had Cowher, then he had Mike Tomlin. And if Tomlin moves on, I wouldn't even hesitate to think whoever he pulled in there, or Artie, his son, whoever they brought in there, would continue on with the success. One thing they've all been, Brian, they've all been defensive coaches.
Well, and the other thing that I admire about them is, and like every organization, you hit the tough spell, you hit the bump in the road. They stuck with the guy. Bill Cowher, in year 7, 8, 9, did not go to the playoffs. And that's usually the time people are howling for your head and whatever. They stuck with their plan, they stuck with their people, and were rewarded with Super Bowls after that.
Yeah, and it was always great defense, running game. Has been for what, 40 years. Great defense and running game.
And does that formula still win in today's NFL?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Which is kind of interesting.
You had it in with your Ravens.
And us and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you talked about 10 years, Tom. It's probably been that long since a team that had that pure formula. Play good defense, run the ball, don't turn the ball over. Since then, you've had to have the great quarterback play. Not that we're not going to have it this game, because we will, but these are two great teams in this year's Super Bowl, not just two great quarterbacks.
Well, after the penalty, they re-kick it, and Mariani brings it out to the 24-yard line, stopped by Zach Diassi. Well,
we're going.
A third quarterback brought into the game. Matt Castle, originally from the New England Patriots, of course, went on to Kansas City. And what a year he had. 27 touchdown passes against just 7 interceptions.
8 10, call 1, ready?
And for all our viewers out there, this is a really nice kid. Yeah, it's a really, really class kid.
Like 20. All right, what's up?
That was nearly a 4th interception.
And you talk about the ability to identify talent and recruit it, or in this case, draft it. Matt Castle, think about this. This guy had 1 start in college football, and that was at running back. He was the backup to Carson Palmer, backup to Matt Leinart, which is a whole nother commentary on where those guys are right now and what Matt Castle's doing. But just an incredible story, undrafted guy, and here he is into a Pro Bowl.
Of course, Bill Belichick was a man who took that gamble on Matt Castle, and it paid off.
Oh!
Right on cue.
Intercepted again. It's Antoine Winfield in his 12th season this year out of Ohio State. And he brings it back to the 29-yard line. Boy, there's another guy. What a player he's been. I mean, there are guys that get more pub, but I'm not sure there's been a more physical cornerback in the NFL for over a decade than Winfield.
Yeah, this was just going to be a skinny post, and it looked like Castle thought he was going to flatten it just a bit more. Winfield cheating just a little bit, saw by the top of the drop where the ball was going to come.
Well, I didn't mean to mislead everybody talking about all these great quarterbacks we had in the game today. Because every time we turn around, somebody's getting intercepted.
Yeah, and so far, I think Michael Vick had kind of a nice little start off. I think Matt Ryan's probably right now would be in running for MVP because he's a couple touchdown passes.
And hand it off to Adrian Peterson, and he picks up close to 10.
Now you can move the clock, right, Brian? Now you don't have to throw. You've got a 30. I mean,
yeah, 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, up 35-0. Yeah, I think we can get into that pound and ground offense right now.
As broadcasters, we start going through our notes and looking for storylines. What do you got there, Tom?
Matt Castle, the early years.
Back in '68, fellas.
You better get some of these stories cranked up.
I don't have any stories. I just showed up Friday.
So did the AFC.
Peterson good enough for a first down to the 16. Terry, we're going to let you go back downstairs on the field for halftime, and you'll be back for the second half.
Okay.
You got a chauffeur that takes you down there and back up?
No, I don't have a chauffeur. I'm running down there.
All right, we'll safe travels.
See you guys in the second half. Thank you for having me.
We'll start it anew. Make it 0-0 at the half just to make it competitive.
That'd be fun. It's been fun having Terry with us up here today.
I imagine we'll see the NFC kind of pound away at this a little bit. See if they can get Adrian Peterson in the end zone. Got Ovi Mahaley in him right in front of him.
What is up?
A delay to Peterson, and he is swarmed for a 2-yard loss. Vince Wilfork was there, as was Randy Starks.
Well, there are just so many great stories in this game, Tom. You know, when you look at the numbers here, we've got so many first-time players, better than 20 on either side. And you talk to them, and they're early in the week. They're talking to the older veterans. Well, how do we do this? How do we play this? How do I go after it? They brother-in-law it a little bit. That's the term you use when it's, okay, look, we'll take care of one another. But by the same token, you want to look good, and you're going to be competitive. So.
Well, they pitch it to Steven Jackson. And he's inside the 10, and into the end zone goes Steven Jackson. And if it wasn't on already, the route is officially on now.
Steven Jackson's one of those great stories, obviously, with the struggles in St. Louis, although it was great to see them back this year. This is a dynamic back, physical guy. He's got speed. The fact that he's kind of labored through, you're going to see him just with that little delay. You're going to see Eric Berry come up, get a little bit surprised by the physicality there of Jackson. Kind of caught him off guard. He's a much more physical DB than that, but Jackson staying upright and getting into the end zone.
Well, the Rams have had their struggles the last number of years. Made a late playoff run this year in the very down NFC West, but Jackson, the only player in the NFL to produce at least 8,000 yards from scrimmage over the last 5 seasons.
And Eric Berry's much more physical than this. You can't take on a big man like Johnson. You can see him right there say, whoop, boy, I needed to take him on a little lower. You can't hit a big man like this high.
Well, the biggest day in football kicks off on Fox Soccer. I'd like to remind you, coming to you live from the Fox NFL and Sunday studios. It's a Fox Soccer event when Chelsea takes on Liverpool. Don't miss this epic rivalry unfold live next weekend on Fox Soccer.
Well, whether it's competitive or not, these guys are having fun, that's for sure.
Talked about this being the 41st meeting in the NFC and AFC, with the series tied at 20 apiece. Last year, a very exciting game as the AFC broke a 2-game losing streak, winning 41-34. Matt Schaub, the MVP of that game last year.
AFC just needs a drive here. You know, they're just something to kind of show that they're into the game. I know at 42-0 doesn't sound like it would make a big difference, but just one solid drive. Heck, if the other team can score 42.5, how about us?
Well, Mariani is the one who might suffer from exhaustion the quickest on the AFC team. He's having to return kickoffs every couple of minutes. Talk about Steven Jackson. And there you see since 2004 over 10,000 yards from scrimmage. Second only to LaDainian Tomlinson. He's a load. 236 pounds.
118. 118.
Well, we've listened in today on each of the first 2 quarterbacks. How about Matt Castle?
Here we go, fellas. We got deuce right, sprint left, alert opposite on 1. Ready?
All that opposite call is if he doesn't like the alignment, he'll go from one side to the other. They're going to go left.
Right 20.
Alert sounds like they're going to end up coming back to the right.
Jamal Charles for a first down up to the 45. Jonathan Vilma also wearing a microphone.
I'll let you know. Over 3. Over 3.
Just a straight cover 3 zone over front. That's the reduced side to the tight end side. Ought to be cover 3. Don't get beat deep, because that's the only thing that's going to hurt him right now.
Jamal Charles, a big run inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line. Charles, the second most rushing yards in the NFL to Arian Foster.
Yeah, we're just going to see a straight zone play here, and this is, you can see the explosion and the power of Jamal Charles right here. Puts his foot in the ground and now turns on those jets. This is we don't get to see this guy a lot, Tom, being in the NFC as much as we are. This is a dynamic back that's fun to watch.
Right 20. Wide, 27.
Castle, a quick throw to his teammate Dwayne Bowe, and he's close to another first down. You know, it almost makes you wonder why the Kansas City Chiefs don't hand it off to Jamal Charles every time they have the ball. He averages nearly 6.4 yards per carry this year, second only all time in a single season to the legendary Jim Brown.
I'll tell you what, when you're on a banner between Barry Sanders and Jim Brown, I don't care what the numbers are. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Well put. We'll get it again. He's to the 8. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. 42-0 NFC.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Visa. More people go with Visa.
AFC tries to get on the board for the first time in a game with 2 minutes to play until halftime.
There you go. Deuce right, sprint left, alert opposite on 1. Ready?
Yeah, we heard this play before. This is nothing more than a 2 tight end alignment here and here. This thing's supposed to go this way. Alert, alert means he's going to come back to the right now.
Well, they drew that one up pretty well. That is a touchdown for Jamal Charles. Charles racks up 63 yards on just 7 carries, and that's a touchdown.
And again, it's just simple zone play off to the right. Beeson on the edge needed to create this edge a little bit more to not let Jamal Charles get to the outside. Nice job by Zach Miller, pushing Beeson off the edge, creating the edge for the touchdown.
So walk a viewer through that entire sequence of events right there and what all of that means, starting with a play call.
Well, deuce right is 2 tight ends balanced on one side or the other. Sprint left, which is their zone play going to the left. Alert opposite means if whatever look I get, I want to go the other way. Could be the alignment of the linebacker, maybe the technique of the tackle. Alert means we're going to go back to the right and run this same play to the right. Deuce right, sprint left, alert opposite.
Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Bert and Terry will have scores and high starting quarterbacks. Ben Law, Roethlisberger, and Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk about NASCAR's Carl Edwards. He'll join us at the desk here at the Pro Bowl. Looking forward to hearing from both quarterbacks. We've had a number of Green Bay Packer games, and how can you not love Aaron Rodgers, not only as a player, but what a terrific young man.
Well, we talked about it earlier as well. The thing I love about these two teams, this is a quarterback-driven league. We've talked about that a great deal. Last year, we had 10 or 12 teams throw for better than 4,000 yards. That's down to 7 teams this year, and only 3 of them made the playoffs. So that tells you that this year, I don't know if it'll be maintained, but we're kind of back to, you got to play good team offense and defense. Play good defense. Even though the Packers don't necessarily run the ball well, they're a balanced offense in terms of what Aaron Rodgers can bring to them. Ben Roethlisberger, we talked about it, missing the first 4 games. He came back to a 3-1 team. He didn't have to come riding in as the conquering hero. It was, hey, we're doing pretty good. Let's just maintain what we're doing. I really do believe the 2 best teams are playing in the Super Bowl. Quite frankly, I don't know how to pick this one. This is going to be a good game.
So interesting how Green Bay has a hard time running it all year long after they lose Ryan Grant. Then they get in the playoffs. And James Starks, we were there for his debut.
And you were high on him, the kid out of Buffalo.
I saw him play in college. And I mean, you know, you can say, well, there are a lot of guys that are great in college, but he's a very special athlete. When he got injured his senior year, Green Bay took a chance on him and has paid huge dividends here down the stretch and into the playoffs. Well, right now they're getting both guys ready. Ben Roethlisberger on your left and Aaron Rodgers on the right. Ben looks like he's hanging at home. And Aaron looks like he's hanging at the Packer facility in Green Bay. Could be wrong on that. Wrong a lot.
And you know the interesting, right now, I'll bet you both these guys, they know the game plan for the Super Bowl. You usually get that installed before you leave to come down. The mental aspect of it, and the one bit of advice I constantly got, don't change your game plan once you got it set. Have it when you come down, because there's too many things going on. So it's interesting. We're going to talk to two quarterbacks that know exactly what the plan of attack is.
All right, 147. Will Matt Ryan put it up and try to get back in the end zone? Or just run out the clock.
You know, in the NFC, they need a first down here, because I don't know that you want to punt this thing back to the AFC. You don't want to give them a cheap chance to maybe get another score. I know it seems the one-sided with 42-7, but all of a sudden you get a big return, particularly in the way the nature of this game is. You get a shot down the field. All of a sudden it's 42-14. Changes the complexion a little bit.
Ryan, what would be the one thing all the years you were with Ray Lewis, and I mean day in and day out, early mornings, late nights, when he played for you during your nearly 10 full years as a head coach in Baltimore? What's the one thing that stands out to you about him? He's talked about so much.
I will tell you this. Let's get through this quickly. Quick screen outside to Devin Hester. But the Ray Lewis that you see on Sunday, the passion, the energy, the intensity, that's the Ray Lewis you get every day in meetings, in practice, and as a coach. Boy, how great is it when you got players that are still maybe learning what it is to be a professional, sitting in meetings. There's Ray Lewis in the front row, book open, highlighting whatever it is you're talking about. To be able to look at that young player and go, sitting in the back with the hood up and sitting, hey man, are you kidding me? I mean, Ray Lewis is sitting here like he's a rookie, like he needs, what a great example, day to day, practice to practice. The other thing about Ray Lewis, and you're going to, obviously this is a little bit different setting.
Hey, you got to go right now.
See, always that.
You gotta
always
go right
motivate.
now. I need you.
Always
Go
motivate.
right damn. You got to go. Just stay with one. Stay with one.
Just give me a little bit more.
Yeah,
do one more thing.
One rep. Unless you go to it. If you go to it, y'all got to communicate it. Huh? Close left. Close left. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Don't let him get out.
Gerard Mayo runs Adrian Peterson. Goes to the marker of the 42-yard line. Again, coming up on the Visa halftime report. Starting quarterbacks for the Super Bowl, which you can watch right here on Fox, are standing by to visit with Kurt and Terry. Aaron Rodgers to your right, and Big Ben Roethlisberger to the left. Another thing that's interesting, read a story a couple of days ago about the University of Southern California, one of the great football schools, of course, in the history of the college game. Never had a quarterback start a Super Bowl. And here we have Aaron Rodgers out of Cal. They've had their fair share of great ones. Big Ben out of Miami of Ohio.
How about that?
That's the end of the first half. 42-7 NFC. Fox NFL Pro Bowl special. We'll continue after these messages with the Visa Halftime Report. Enjoying the Pro Bowl here today are over 400 armed forces here in Hawaii. He has provided tickets to those dedicated men and women, Air Force, Marine, and their families. Way of saying thank you to those who never say never when it comes to defending our country. 42-7, NFC in front, set to begin the third quarter from the 2011 Pro Bowl. And you can follow your favorite team all season long. Just go to itunes.com/NFL. And you better download a way to try and get back in this game. Let's check in along the sideline with Jay.
Well, guys, I was just inside the Falcons locker room, and got to tell you, different than anything I expected. We were back there getting spa treatments, margarita machine, card game going, dancing girls. It was fantastic. Really nothing like I expected. Now, in all seriousness, Mike Smith did walk around. The only thing he really could say is, guys, expect them to come out a little harder in the second half. I should certainly hope so. Back to you guys.
You're not lying about that. What do you say? I know you didn't coach in a Pro Bowl, Brian Billick, but Bill Belichick, what are you saying?
Well, you guys, you're professionals. We're not playing like professionals right now. Offensively, they got to come out. First, not turn the ball over, obviously. And they just got to step up their tempo, because you got to figure the NFC side, they're up 42-7. Let's see what kind of energy they want to go into it. At the very least, let's match or exceed their energy.
The AFC has turned it over 5 times in the game. Ariani up across the 30 to the 31-yard line, and they'll go back to their starting quarterback, Philip Rivers. Rivers hit on 6 of 11, 53 yards, and a pair of interceptions.
And if anybody can get it going, it would be Philip Rivers. I don't know that there's, we talk about the Tom Brady's and the Peyton Mannings and what they mean to their team. I don't know that there's a team in the NFL that really relies more on its quarterback than the San Diego Chargers and Philip Rivers. He was it, and now he needs, the AFC needs for him to be it.
Good. Mike 98, Jeff. Set 180, 180. Set.
Start on the ground to Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson last year, the 2009 NFL Offensive Player of the Year, playing in his 3rd straight Pro Bowl. And he followed up last season with over 1,600 yards rushing this season.
He's come out and said he's going to be better than 2,000+ yards. Next 2,500, actually, he said, running and catching. Great to set that bar up high.
Mike 59. Set 180, 180. Set.
Reggie Wayne to the 30-yard line.
And we've seen a couple of these types of routes, just these deep in routes. Obviously, with the underneath coverage, if you can catch him in man, Philip Rivers clearing it over the top of the linebackers. And right here, he was going for, he'll say he was going for a strip, but you got to wrap up a little bit better than that. Reggie Wayne covering up so the ball doesn't come out.
Seven consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons for Reggie Wayne. He had his 3rd career 100+ reception campaign this year in Indianapolis. Going to hear London Fletcher call the defense, and everything's so basic with the different rules we're playing by.
Over Reggie S. Over Reggie S. Over Reggie S.
Again,
11 in the game. Over Reggie S.
You hear over and under. Over means where they bring the defensive tackle down to the strong side. You're going to see it here on the tight end side over here on the right. That's where they set the front.
Now, what would a normal call sound like during a regular season game?
It's going to be more involved. It's going to be over with a stunt call or a certain alignment, shading from one coverage, over, pirate, two, alert 3, meaning going a cover 2 to a cover 3. Just a lot more elaborate, a lot more checking on the part of the defense. Obviously here, when you have a standard front, standard coverages, not as many things as you're going to go to.
21. Liz, do what? Set white 20. White 20. Cut.
Looked like Arian Foster was going to throw it.
Yeah, a couple times.
We talked about London Fletcher, his first 11 years in the league. So many times his play on the field warranted a trip to the Pro Bowl. Never came until last year. Guys call it taking the trip across the water. I definitely wanted to get the experience of coming out here to Hawaii. Played in the Pro Bowl for the first time this year, a late addition this season after playing last year, I beg your pardon. What a quality guy and a quality player for a long time.
Another one of those undrafted free agents that obviously took a different path than some of these guys to this and has a great appreciation for what this represents.
Fletcher wraps up Johnson. He picks up 5. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
You know, we talked earlier about the difficulty with the quarterbacks and the timing with the receiver. We talk all the time about the difficult thing. The windows to throw through in the NFL are so much smaller than college ball. Quarterbacks are suffering from that just a little bit here, because if you're just the slightest bit late against one of these Pro Bowl caliber corners, you're going to get a turnover. So it's a different environment for these guys.
Julius Peppers trying to strip it away from Jamal Charles. No gain. It'll bring up 4th down, and when you're trailing 42-7, and chances are pretty good you're going for it.
Yeah, and that's what that call was. They knew that they were going to go for it on 4th down. They were hoping to get a little bit more than that, maybe half the distance, catch the defense off guard with the run on a 3rd and 10, get it down to a 4th and 10.
Clover, slide left, 276, F post, H wheel, ready.
What in the world was all that?
276 is a 2 route, a 7 and a 6. They got a post in there, and they're going to try to take the back out of the backfield and wheel him down the sideline, get him one-on-one with the linebacker. Great catch.
Guns it in there. What a catch indeed for a touchdown by Reggie Wayne.
Boy, that thing was on the proverbial frozen rope. Just a laser. This is the post part that you heard. 276 posts. He's just going to come in here and run that quick post. You'll see the back slipping out to pull coverage on the wheel route. And boy, that was no margin for error. That thing had to be exactly on the money. Great focus by Reggie Wayne.
And I don't want to know what it is, Coach Billick, but as Terry has made it back up to the booth, but you know, so many of the game's great receivers are self-promoters. Reggie Wayne would never fit that bill. He has been the best receiver in the NFL over the last 8 years.
Today's game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Large pizzas are just $10 and mediums are just $8. Great prices every day. By Toyota. And by Visa. More people go with Visa.
Well, you're never going to say never in a game like this with the rules being the way they are. I mean, the NFC put up 42 in the first half. The AFC is capable of doing the same thing in the second half. Terry, welcome back.
Thanks, Tom.
Did you guys miss me? I know somebody drove you up here.
I was on a golf cart, and but for the most part, I sprinted from the stage down there.
I saw that.
Well, when you're in shape. When you're in shape, my age, and eating nuts and
Sprint
stuff.
is a relative term.
Yes, it is relative, but I like it. Hey, I went down and said hello to Dan Faust. He's down there calling radio. Told him about our story, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was just dying laughing. He said, be sure and tell Billick that also you asked me after the first series would I like to go the rest of the game.
How many picks do I have to throw to get you into the rest of the way?
Oh, boy. They try to hand it off, and it turns into a touchdown.
We got us a game now, folks.
Montel Owens has the exchange from Devin Hester. Got loose. It looked like he was handing it to D'Angelo Hall. Yep.
I'm not sure D'Angelo thought he was getting it. I think D'Angelo thought it was going to be a fake. He didn't look like he was none too interested in either getting it or didn't think he was going to get it.
All right. Well, about to be 42-21.
Terry, you come back up, you get 2 touchdowns inside 20 seconds.
Yeah, just, you know, get another one. Kind of like just give them the ball again. Yeah, what was that used to get the ball again if you're down so many points?
Make it, take it.
Yeah, just get it again.
How about an onside kick?
Sure.
Huh?
Well, practice the other day, they were working on it.
Look at that pass rush on that extra point.
No, it's illegal. It's illegal. Can't rush the punts or the PATs. So I won't get on them about that.
Well, how's that for scoring? In 5 seconds, you rack up 14 points. Montel Owens, a special teams player, added to the Pro Bowl squad.
I think they ought to onside kick it. You got 5 guys up here had returned the kickoff in a career. That'd be the time to do it.
Hester more than likely going to hang on to it this time. And Devin up to the 27-yard line. Of course, this time a year ago, Drew Brees was preparing to play in the Super Bowl. We'll expect to see him shortly. But Matt Ryan will begin the second half.
All right, here we go.
Thinking one way, rolling the other. An eye on Calvin Johnson, but it's incomplete.
You know, the thing that impressed me, Terry, about Matt Ryan, even from as a rookie, when they got in a critical time, they put it on his shoulders. No huddle. I saw a number of games where they couldn't get anything going. They needed something. Okay, young man, we're going to put it on your shoulder. Let's go no huddle. And that's when they were the most successful.
And that's when Matty Ice, you know, that's the guy's just cool. He performs extremely well under pressure, especially when they're behind. He's got like a 20-2 record at home in Atlanta.
What is that?
Roddy White up to the 33-yard line. We saw Matt Ryan in the first half through a couple of touchdown passes. One of them, of course, to Larry Fitzgerald.
In between, good job, babe. Down there, I'm getting Larry. He'd be so nice to have, man. He's standing in. I just threw it. Wham. He's so good. Woo!
Remember, we were talking about that play that it looked like he was supposed to nod inside. And Matt Ryan said, that's pretty good. I'll just throw it deep outside. And this guy's going to come up with it.
What a catch that was by Roddy White. That throw ball was thrown behind him.
And I want to talk to you, Terry, here a little bit about, you know, we got some great quarterbacks here. I mean, Bill Belichick was talking about this is as impressive a group of quarterbacks as he can remember. I think this is his 3rd or 4th Pro Bowl. But I want to talk to you about what it is to play quarterback in this league and what it is we should be looking for, because we're obviously coming up in the draft.
Michael Turner, a big gainer, and he's inside the 40.
Well, you're exactly right. If you need a quarterback, the first thing you know, if we are scouting a quarterback now for the draft, we automatically know that he can play. Okay, his size, he measures up to what we're looking for. And I've always said this, and everyone on the Fox pregame show, all my friends know, you need poise. That to me is the most important thing when you measure it against everybody else. Peyton Manning, Rivers has it, Drew Brees certainly has it, Ryan has it, all these guys have poise. In other words, when chaos is all around you, you're the calming force and nothing seems to bother you. You're unflappable. And the great ones have this, and that's what all these young people give me poise, because I know I can trust and I can depend on you. Otherwise, you see guys that are great, and also guys that are great in the regular season and then fall apart in postseason, and that kind of concerns you too. But if they're good in high school and college, trust me, I think that it follows all the way through to the pros.
And how long before you always hear the term, well, the game slows down finally? When did that happen for you?
All that means is that there's not a lot of surprises. You understand your formations, you understand your reads, you understand defenses and what they can do, your protection. And so therefore, nice job right there. Therefore, there's a calmness about you, and there's really not a lot of surprises anymore. So you're able to just see your coverages and go through your progressions and make your decisions. And you know, one of the hardest things for Ben Roethlisberger and of course for Aaron Rodgers coming up for the Super Bowl time, and Brian, is that you walk out in that moment, it hits you right in the eyes, and I know I did. I took a deep breath, tell myself, relax, calm down, because if not, I wouldn't be making, you won't see well. You're cloudy, you make bad decisions.
Ryan throws and nearly brought in by Gonzalez. So, I mean, for both of you guys, there is that moment. I mean,
yeah.
you know you're going to play in a Super Bowl, in this case for 2 weeks, these guys. But, I mean, is that moment in the tunnel? Is that moment when you step onto the field and the lights and the fans and all? When was that moment?
You talked about it being 10 years ago that I was fortunate enough to be part of that Super Bowl. That day for me, there is absolutely nothing about that day that's familiar to you until kickoff. The day is different. The crowd is different. It's neither home nor away. The pregame is like you've never been. You go back in, you have to re-stretch. You come back out, you're standing on the sideline forever, the flyover. But the minute the ball's kicked off, that's the first time you go, okay, I know what we're doing now. Yeah, I've been here before. I know what to do now. I didn't know what to do 5 seconds ago, but I know what to do now.
I will admit to this. I was petrified. The week before, I couldn't relax. I couldn't get I was scared to death losing. I couldn't imagine losing a Super Bowl, and I was petrified. It was the most nerve-wracking 2 weeks of my life.
Really?
Yeah, it never was comfortable for me. I think just for the fear of losing. Maybe I shouldn't have been like that, but I was.
Oh, I'm sure you're not alone. I bet a lot of other guys just might not admit it. Thrown away on the 3rd down.
Now, and I alluded to it earlier, Terry. I'm interested in how Chuck Noll approached it. One bit of advice I got: get your game plan in the first week. Don't change it, because you'll just end up coming back to the same thing. And so by that Sunday before, right now, today, the players had the game plan in. Did you guys do it the same way?
Game plan was in, ready to go, and what Chuck did, he made it fun. He wanted us to have fun. He wanted us to relax and not do this, this regimented thing. We got it in. Trust yourself. You're ready to go. Don't be stupid when you get on location. You know what I mean? And that's what we did. We went down and we had fun and we relaxed and we enjoyed ourselves. And that's what I was telling Aaron and Ben earlier on the post-game show, the halftime show. Just relax and enjoy. Ben knows that.
41-yard field goal try good by Akers to make it 45-21 NFC.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Toyota.
.48 points in Pro Bowl games, most all time by David Akers. Of course, that's nothing new. Akers leads all NFL players in points during the first decade of his century. He had a rough time of it in the playoff game against Green Bay, but he has been among the best, if not the best, for the last 7-8 years.
This guy's a great kicker.
Out of Louisville, Kentucky is David Akers. Mariani already over 200 return yards on kickoffs alone today. That's on 28 more. So 5:53 to play in the 3rd quarter. With another score, AFC could make it interesting here. Well, American Idol is back in a big way. America's loving it. Join Randy Jackson, Jennifer Lopez, Steven Tyler, and Ryan Seacrest for the all-new season of Extraordinary Talent. American Idol now on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Don't miss it. Wednesday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. Still can't believe Steven Tyler is on American Idol. Rivers in and out of the hands. Dwayne Bowe thrown behind him. Let's check in with Tony down along the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with DeBrickashaw Ferguson. all-pro left tackle for the New York Jets. Now, you got the Super Bowl coming up, and both of the teams, the Green Bay Packers, you lost to them, and you beat the Steelers the first time. The second time you lost to them. What do you think the outcome is going to be in this Super Bowl? What do you think about both of these teams?
You know, both teams have great defenses. The Packers with Jenkins and Clay Matthews, they're game changers. They know how to get up the field. They know how to pass rush. And then also with the Steelers, you got Polamalu and Woodley and Harrison. Those guys know they're real smart. They drop into coverage. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I think they have the edge. We had a chance to go against them twice. They're real competitive, but I think that they're gonna have the edge on this one.
All right, there you go. You got it from the Brickashaw Ferguson. Back to you guys.
Very bright young man, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, out of the University of Virginia, playing in his second Pro Bowl this year.
Let me guess. I'm wondering who he's for.
How do you pick against a team that shuts you out? Last time I checked, didn't the Packers shut out the Jets?
Yep.
Justin Tuck wraps up Chris Johnson, but not before he picks up a first down. Now we go to the other side of Jay.
All right, guys, thanks. Here with Jason Witten. Hey, your town this week, Dallas, is going to be jamming, obviously, for the Super Bowl. How crazy do you think it's going to get down there?
It's going to be pretty crazy. I think the Jones family and the city has been waiting for the Super Bowl for a long time, and got a great stadium to play it in, and it's going to be a great week.
You seem a little upset right now. Is somebody here upset you? Did Tony do something to you?
You and Strahan always.
No, not this Tony. Tony Gonzalez, he's like taking all your playing time. You've been like pouting all day.
Hey man, every time it's a pass play, he wants to go in, but if it's a run play, he wants to stay out. But I guess he can pull that off because he's the greatest tight end to play. He gets what he wants.
You okay that your Tony isn't here with you though? You okay?
Don't even start that. We'll be back. You and Strahan, you guys are like buddy.
No, we broke up.
Oh, you broke up?
We're no more.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
All right, Jason Witten, thanks, buddy.
Now Moreeeee on the big reverse, a carry up close to midfield.
Hey, listen, when Jay does another interview, have Tony run over there with a little stool or something so he can stand on it, so he'll be almost shoulder high at least.
I got to tell you, I think here's a long one down the sideline and in and then out of the hands of Brandon Lloyd. He nearly had it in traffic.
Yeah, I think Lloyd actually got away with just a little bit of a shove there at the top. You're going to just see him go vertical one-on-one on the outside. Gets a little bit of push at the top here. But it is the Pro Bowl. We'll let you get away with that a little bit, but now you got to come down with it.
Yep.
Oh, he had 3/4 of it, just needed to finish it off.
We'll get back to that interview with Jason Witten. I mean, it might be a Pro Bowl game. There was a lot of serious in his eyes when he was asked about not getting a lot of playing time in this game. He's not happy about it standing over there. Johnson wrapped up for a loss of 3. It'll bring up 3rd down and 13.
Nice job by Julius Peppers. Was there a better free agent acquisition last year than the Chicago Bears and Julius Peppers, Terry? I mean, what a difference that made.
He definitely was a difference maker. And they brought him in with the idea that, and with the understanding, Brian, that we get him in there, our defense takes it. We go up another notch. We're contenders for the Super Bowl, and one victory shy of that. But yeah, this guy's pretty amazing.
Probably as good an athlete as I've seen on the outside of defensive end in a long, long time in this league.
Rivers fires, and this time it's caught by Bo for a first down to the 35-yard line. 2:50 to play in the 3rd.
I would find it hard to get upset if you're not playing in this game. I enjoy just standing on the sideline. It's just fun to be here, whether I played or not.
I don't know. I could have misread him completely, but I mean, that is one competitive cat, Jason Witten.
Well, and he was one of those. We talked about the competitiveness of his game, and I heard an interview during the course of the week, and it was in no uncertain terms. He wanted to win this game.
Yeah.
There was no ambiguity about that at all.
Hey, Mike 51, set White 20. White 20, set.
Moreeeee again. Nice play by Grimes to slow him down and forcing him out of bounds.
How many of those have we seen? How many reverses? We've seen gadget passes.
There'll be a pass off that, off a reverse, double reverse. All this is just a single reverse. You're going to see him come around in here. Didn't get the double reverse off at this time. But we're going to see, nice job on the outside by Grimes. He could have gotten outflanked, but he got him. We're going to see a pass off that, off of one of these reverses before the day's out.
Dropped again by Lloyd. That's 2 of them on this drive. 3rd down upcoming. Let's go back downstairs to Tony.
What's going on, guys? I got Gerard Mayo here, all-pro linebacker from the New England Patriots, and you had an opportunity to play both Green Bay and the Steelers, beat them both. What do you think about this Super Bowl coming up and how it's going to turn out?
They're both very talented teams. Both have great quarterbacks, great running attacks, and both have great defenses. So that'd be a good game.
Yeah. So what do you think? Who do you think has the advantage?
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh, man. Maybe it's my AFC pride, but I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Really? Why? Any reason?
Great defense, a lot of pass rushers, and a lot of playmakers on that side of the ball.
They had a great running game also, huh?
Yeah, Rashad Mendenhall is really running the ball hard. That offensive line is doing a good job.
Aaron Rodgers, you don't think Aaron Rodgers can go and get it done?
You know, I wasn't fortunate enough to play against him. You know, they had the backup in, but he's a great guy, great quarterback.
Okay. I don't want to put you out on the hook. Back to you guys. How you enjoying your first Pro Bowl?
It's good, man. Having a great time, learning a lot from Ray and these other guys. It's a good time.
Did they tell you to go out there and make sure you don't hurt nobody? And you know, what are the rules inside the rules?
Hey, man, I only know one speed, so I'm out there trying to play for real.
There you go. Keep that going. Congratulations on a great season, too. Back to you guys.
Hey, Goose, Terry, you know, I'm catching on to your style now. You got Manning mad at me, and you know, and now you Mayo, now you got him saying one guy can't do this, and you can't do that. That's just not right. That's just wrong.
Watch this right here. This is... That's called stirring it up, baby. You got to stir it up. You know what I'm saying?
4th down.
Nice.
Catch and touchdown by Mercedes Lewis. What a gifted athlete is this 5th-year tight end for Jacksonville out of UCLA. In his first Pro Bowl.
And not only is he 6'6", he's got the longest arms. You're just going to see this is basically a go route, but watch this thing gets in behind him. It's almost like a back shoulder throw. He's got the longest arms. It's like trying to shoot a 3-pointer into a 10-foot diameter basket. You could put that thing in a lot of places.
That's like a fade route to a tight end. I mean, you got all these options. You can lead him out, or you can underthrow him, and that's what Rivers did. He elected to underthrow him.
Well, this one has gotten a little more interesting.
Yeah.
45-27. Plays 73 yards, capped off by a touchdown pass from Philip Rivers to Mercedes Lewis. And a 45-28 game.
Man, you don't bring him way in there when it's
Brian, you suggested maybe an onside kick the last time.
But the NFC's thinking the same thing because they put 6 guys up on the front line instead of 5. They were thinking the same thing.
Devin Hester up to the 22. America's Super Bowl party kicks off on Fox with performances by Keith Urban and Maroon 5 and a special interview between Bill O'Reilly and President Obama. Plus, Michael Strahan will be on the red carpet to welcome entertainment's biggest stars. It's Fox Super Sunday next week beginning at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, with the road to the Super Bowl followed by Inside the Rings with Troy Aikman. Only on Fox.
I wonder if that guy's going to be on our flight to Dallas tonight.
Hey, Brian. Oops. Sorry. Hey, Brian, could you do a red carpet? You know, Strahan's doing it. I was.
You want me to lay it out there? I've been doing a lot. I've been wearing hats. I've been doing all sorts of things this year. But I'm going to draw the line at actually laying out the carpet. I'm sorry.
Let's go to Brian Bellick over there with who you got there, Brian? I got no idea.
Just laid
what
out
movie
the carpet.
are you? Oh no, you should go. What are you wearing?
That's right.
Well, as Drew Brees comes into the game for the first time, the final seconds of the third quarter will tick off. We have 1 quarter to go. 45-28 NFC. This Fox NFL Pro Bowl special will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Well, 35 points in the first 2 quarters for the NFC, but a 21-point third quarter for the AFC has made it a far more competitive game as we're set to begin the fourth quarter. Alongside the coach, Brian Billick, Hall of Famer Terry Bradshaw, Tony Siragusa, Jake Glazer, and a cast of hundreds. I'm Tom Brenneman. Great to have you with us from Honolulu. Breeze to a wide open Tony Gonzalez. And he's to the 41-yard line. Well, you talk about putting together a run since leaving San Diego and going to New Orleans. What player has had more of an impact in the free agency era than Drew Brees? I'm not sure you could say anybody has made more of an impact on his team, in his city, in his state than Drew Brees.
Perfect. Perfect for Peyton's offense. Absolutely perfect. Unflappable. You know, not the tallest guy, but has a great arm, great anticipation, throws all the routes. I mean, he's excellent and has a much better arm than some people give him credit for.
And let's remember, there were a few teams, if none, that didn't want any part of Brees. There was really one other shooter. That was Miami.
Let's go downstairs to Jay Glazer.
All right, guys, you saw Drew Brees, not a bad quarterback over here at Matt and Ryan. Matt, you played against both of our Super Bowl contenders, both the Steelers and the Packers. Give us which defense is tougher for you and your prediction.
Gosh, they're both hard to go against for sure. Pittsburgh's physical in their front seven. But playing Green Bay just the past couple of weeks, they're a hot team right now, and that defense is playing really well. I'll take Green Bay.
Hey, you got all these guys out here, Gonzalez, Roddy White, Michael Turner. Do they even out here needle you to get them the ball?
No, not really. You know, they do that all year, so they kind of gave me a break this week.
Who is the most impressive guy you've seen out here you normally don't get to see during the season?
Yeah, you know what? I have to say I'm impressed with Calvin Johnson, how big he is, how physical he is, how fast he is at the top end, too. I'd love to have him on my sideline.
It's ridiculous. He looks like he should be playing for the Pistons, not the Lions.
Absolutely. He could play like power forward. He'd be a nice power forward.
All right, Matt Ryan, thanks. I appreciate it, buddy. Guys, back to you.
All right, Jay Glazer, thanks. Calvin Johnson had 12 touchdown receptions this year. Brian Billick, he should have had 13.
Yeah, we were there in that opener where that's still going to be discussed in this offseason about what's a catch and what's not a catch.
5-2, ready. Ready. Ready.
You know, we bring up that game as Mahaley makes a reception for a first down. I often wonder during the course of the year, if that is ruled a touchdown for the Detroit Lions, how does that change potentially the Chicago Bears season? Everybody was so down the fan base on that Bears team when the year began. Cutler coming off the terrible year. If they lose the season opener to the Lions.
Well, hold that thought, because I'm, for one, find these Lions to be a pretty hard football team to beat. Right. They may not win. They may not have won a lot of football games, and I'm going to tell you, I picked them a lot to win games. They lose. They've lost them in the end. Lost their quarterback. Hill came in and played awfully well. Nice throw. But I find the Lions. I know our viewers out there are probably Lions. Listen,
I agree with you.
Next year in the NFC North, they get their guy back, their quarterback back healthy. I'm telling you, that's an impressive bunch.
And they did what you need to do to make that kind of run. They finished well,
yes.
which you really want to do. They were out of it earlier. Next to Haloti Ngata, who we have in this game, Ndamukong Suh, maybe the most dominant inside presence in the league today. They got a lot to base that. If Stafford can stay healthy, which he hasn't for 2 years, I'm with you 100%. I think Jim Schwartz is doing a good job.
Well, you know, Drew came back from that shoulder. You were talking about Miami earlier. They opted not to take him. But if Drew came back I came back from a bad shoulder. Drew came back from one, and once Stafford gets himself healed up and gets stronger on the weights, he's going to be fine. This thing is going to run its course. He's going to be fine, and the Lions are going to find themselves. I realize that drafting him #1 was truly the right thing to do, but he'll coming in playing like he
played
has.
He had a nice year.
God.
He really did.
He could have been an alternate here today if needed, easily.
That's why I was surprised, and Brian, you and I talked about it a year ago. I was surprised the 49ers were so quick to cut Shaun Hill loose.
Well, sometimes they'll cut a player loose, Coach, if for no other reason than to think that perhaps their starter feels his presence, and it puts pressure on their starter. Which, by the way, if that's the case, you need to get rid of the starter
exactly
anyway.
Right. That part, yeah. And I know
don't know if that's right. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you do. Absolutely, you don't want to create the kind of controversy. You want to create a good room. But if my quarterback, if my starter can't hold off a little pressure that way, then maybe I need another starter.
And as it turns out, they went back to Alex Smith in San Francisco when the year began. They were doing the juggling act at the end of the year. The head coach loses his job.
That does not work, Tom. And Alex Smith is one of those guys, or any quarterback in his situation, jerk them in, jerk them out, mess with their mind, you mess them all up. Miss.
Off the upright by David Akers from 36 yards out. We saw that in the postseason.
Today's game is sponsored by Sanctum, from executive producer James Cameron, in theaters Friday. By State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Best Buy, the hottest new tech toys under one roof.
Great surfing indeed, especially over on the north shore of the island. I mean, look at the size of those waves. Ooh. To see it in person is almost beyond description. Waves that big. Reggie Wayne up to the 41-yard line on a first down reception.
There are so many ways to throw a football, and I've seen Rivers only on television, and I love the way his delivery is. I know it's a little bit different. Everybody says this or that. Manning's a nice, beautiful, high-release guy. This guy's a little more of a shoulder guy, holds it, points the ball straight, but I love his delivery. I'm really glad to be here to watch this guy play.
And North Turner, his coach, will tell you he really didn't do much with it. He got him to carry the ball a little higher in terms of the drop.
Right.
But it's an awkward release. It's not one you look at.
I like it.
But the good thing is, as you know, Terry, better than anybody, you're never in, or very rarely are you in perfect position to make a throw. And he can do it anywhere.
And he's on score. Notice the ball's not much higher, not as high as his head. It's out a little bit on the side. It's got a little bit of a shoulder drive to it, which means that he can throw. If you're a shoulder passer, you can sit there and shove that thing a mile down the football field. If you look at Aaron Rodgers' strong arm, he's a snapper. Boom, that thing is out of there. You look at Ben. Ben's a really kind of a shoulder guy. Ben can throw it a country mile, so he's in that line of a little bit of shoulder, which I like.
A timeout called by the NSC defense, stopping the clock with 9:12 to play in Honolulu. This February, NASCAR's biggest race, like you've never seen it before, at the newly paved Daytona International Speedway. The NASCAR season on Fox begins with a running of the Great American Race February 20th only on Fox. A week from today, the Super Bowl comes your way from Arlington, Texas, here on Fox. Brian Billick, you'll be down in Arlington. Terry, obviously, you'll be part of an entire day of pregame show activity, halftime and postgame on Fox. First down catch made by Jamal Charles for a short game. Under 9 minutes to go now. Well, I'm not going to ask you, Terry, because I know that's a big part of the show, the pregame show, about which team you think will win the Super Bowl. Brian, I can't ask you. What do you think about the Super Bowl? Fair
you know what? This is as hard a Super Bowl to pick as I can remember. I'm excited to see, Terry, the matchup of, we both know about the zone blitzing properties of both Green Bay and Pittsburgh, Dick LeBeau, obviously Dom Capers, but we got two quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers' ability to make that free runner miss, Ben Roethlisberger to shrug that guy off, to stretch those blitz zones that we're going to see. It's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, it's really a lot of pressure on these quarterbacks to make good reads. You know, because that zone blitz is very difficult for our viewers. You guys get down, then they get up off, they drop back in coverage. You know, last week we saw BJ do it. He comes back, makes the interceptions for a touchdown. Very hard, complicated for these quarterbacks. Close. But it should be a great match. I know I'm excited about it. I'm excited for Aaron Rodgers. I'm excited for Ben. Ben's got a chance to be one of 4 quarterbacks with 3 Super Bowl victories. Of course, Aaron Rodgers coming in the shadow of Brett Favre and his opportunity, because every quarterback at Green Bay, from Bart Starr to Brett, now to Aaron, they have won their first Super Bowl. So there's something intriguing about that.
Let me ask you this. Pittsburgh Steelers, 25 players been in the Super Bowl. Yep. Green Bay Packers, only 2. Yep. Make a difference?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So. Familiarity just alone makes is beneficial to the players. They know what to expect. And that's important. You go down there and you're comfortable with what's going on.
Well, 4th down and really a final gasp for the AFC, and that's not the play you probably had in mind, laying it off to Charles, who's denied first down yardage. So the NFC will get the ball with 8:10 to go, leading 45-28.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Ram Trucks.
45-28 with 8:10 to play. Drew Brees trying to officially put the fire out. Looking around and lays it off to Steven Jackson. Let's check in downstairs with Jay Glazer, who I believe is trying to find a way to call a play in this game. Is that right?
Smitty, I'm tired of that. Let me call a play. Let me call a play.
Jay, get away.
Just let me call a play. Can I call one play? Do I got it? One play? Yes or no?
No.
Come on, one.
No, leave it alone. One.
Thank you. There you go. One play. Malarkey.
All right.
Where's Malarkey?
Well, what are you going to call, Jay?
Oh, I got something that I wrote up last night.
All right. You're going to go down to offensive coordinator Mike Malarkey.
I can make sure Calvin Johnson's in the game.
He is not in the game right now. They hand it to Steven Jackson, and he's back to the line of scrimmage. All right, Jay, let him have it.
Hey, I got to go 11 personnel here, right? 11 personnel. We got to get, where's Calvin Johnson? He out here? Calvin, you're killing me, Calvin. Press it to Drew, ready? Hey, Breeze, you got me here? You ready to come to the promised land?
Make the call.
I'm making the call, you ready? 4 yards, right? All right, gun double right, 74, both team go. Are you kidding me? Here we go. Gun double right, 74, both teams go. On 1.
They better hustle up to the line of scrimmage. It took a while to get that play call in.
Here go,
we haven't had a penalty in this game yet until Glazer gets involved.
How about that? To Jason Witten to the 24-yard line, and then a fumble. They turn it over, and this one's being brought back the other way by Brandon Merriweather, and he is leveled at the 34-yard line by Jordan Gross of the Panthers. Mercy. Now, are they saying he was down at the other end of the field?
There's no replay, so whatever they call it, it's going to stay that way.
The only thing bad about that play that
I'm with you.
Yeah.
It worked. Glazer called it. Well, how many times are we going to hear about that for the next week?
Look at Tom. Tom's in shock over here.
Hey, he wanted to call a play, and he got it done. That's the biggest hit we've had in the game.
Wouldn't you hate to be a quarterback and look over at the sideline for your offensive coordinator, and his name is Jay Glazer? How do you find him?
Oh, boy.
Anybody got an answer for that?
No, I don't.
Huh?
Jay, congratulations.
Guys, it was supposed to be a go route to Calvin Johnson, but he was over here screwing around. But I'll tell you this, guys, I was just asking my guys, just do your job. You know, I take them one play at a time with the sprint marathon, not a sprint. It is what it is. How was that, Coach?
You covered it all.
Well, they're going to go back to the ground game in Jackson to burn off some time. Let's take a look at Jay Glazer's reaction after the big completion to Jason Witten. Very nice. 21. He wanted the big fella, though, in there, Calvin Johnson. I don't blame him.
Like Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten aren't enough. You know?
What you should do at this point is just get in the huddle and go, anybody got anything?
Yeah,
you got anything you want to run? Come on. That to me would be the fun thing.
Oh, yeah. We'll listen in the next play and see if maybe Drew Brees does that. They hand it off on the end around to Devin Hester, and he's wrestled down at the 20-yard line by Ray Lewis. Jay, back down to you.
You're with Calvin Johnson. You're killing me. That was supposed to go to you. What are you doing?
Oh, man, my time was up, man. I had to get these other guys some catches today, you know, and I mean, we're smashing them right now, so we didn't really have to do it again.
You didn't believe that I was actually going to get to call a play. You had no faith in me.
No, I kind of believed you because you said it with all intent of calling a play when you told me earlier, so I believe you.
But do you think now also that I'm a better coach than Belichick?
I can't even go him on this, but he don't want to do Super Bowl. I can't even.
Calvin Johnson, I appreciate. Actually, no, I don't appreciate it. Oh, good. Back to you.
All right, Jay. Thank you very much. Brees to the end zone under pressure from Jason Babin, incomplete. 4:10 to go. A fourth down, and they're going to send out the kicker, David Akers, again.
Now you want to have some fun? Let's send Jay Glazer out and kick a field goal. Now we're going to find out. The proverbial chip shot here. You know what? And in fairness to the kicker, now there's three parts: the snap, the hold, the kick. He's dealing with two new guys here.
No, I want to see Saragusa go out and kick the field
you know what?
goal.
He could. He could. He's pretty good.
Well, as we go to break, you're telling me Tony Saragusa is a good kicker.
I'll explain when I come back.
Where is the big fella? Get him out there. Super Bowl Sunday. Don't miss the Bridgestone Super Bowl 45 halftime show, starring the Black Eyed Peas, next Sunday only on Fox. Well, after the field goal by Akers, a 20-point spread with 4:06 to go in the game.
All right, Jay, go get him. Where's Jay Glazer when you need him? I'll race down one of these
You know
guys.
what? I think one of those is Jay Glazer.
Well, we're not going to put them on the tube. They're fans that are
taken down,
running around on the field.
You know what? I'd keep my eye on that kid. He's got some moves.
And actually, we're going to show it to you because this is what happens if you would be so foolish as to run out onto the field during an event like this. Darnell Dockett finds it funny, but the young man who's on his way to jail will not snicker much the rest of the night.
Best punishment I ever saw. They did to a young man did that in San Diego. For 1 year, he had to report to the police station anytime there was an athletic event staged in the city of San Diego. We had the Clippers then there, San Diego State, Chargers. It was not as much fun for that young man. I thought that was a great penalty.
Really?
Yeah,
Every sporting event in the town he had to go to.
Any sporting event in the town, he had to go register in the jail during the duration.
These were kids. These weren't some drunk out of stand.
At least that.
These are just children, basically.
All right, now we're back at it with 4:06 left to go. good return by Moreeeee up to the 41-yard line. Terry, you were talking about. Of course, it used to be up until last year, but the Pro Bowl was played after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you'd have players that played for the Super Bowl contending teams who would have a chance to come out here to Hawaii and play in the game. Last year, they sandwiched it in between the championship games and the Super Bowl, as they have done again this year. An injury kept you out of one of these games.
The very first Pro Bowl I was elected to, I got knocked out in Super Bowl 10, had a concussion, and I'm sitting on the curb the next morning as the buses are pulling off and heading the team back to Pittsburgh, and I was flying home with a friend of mine, taking mom and dad home, and I'm sitting there, and I had been pulled out of the Pro Bowl in New Orleans, my home state, and I asked Dan Rooney that morning, I said, "You're not going to let me go to the Pro Bowl?" He said, "No, it was my first one. Could have been my only one." I was devastated down in New Orleans. He said, "No, we're not. You're out of it." I said, "Well, do I get my $2,500? Because that's what the payoff was. That's what the pay was." And he said, "No, you don't get $2,500. I got to tell you, I was devastated. $2,500, man. Back in those days, that would have lasted me good, 4 or 5 months, easy, easy. So I was pretty upset about it. I think all the players come here because of Hawaii and because of the great event and the honor of being selected at the Pro Bowl. Without question, this is the perfect place to have it.
John Lynch talked about, the thing that he will miss or missed was when you're a Super Bowl champion, then to show up at the Pro Bowl. He said when they walked out, the players at the pool in the lobby all got up and applauded. He says that was a special moment for me. Having won a Super Bowl, and then you show up and your peers stand up and acknowledge what that meant.
And Castle throws an interception. And John Beeson of the Panthers will take it to the end zone. "49-yard interception return for a touchdown by Beeson, who was a very late addition to the Pro Bowl team, replacing Lance Briggs."
It's just a late outside throw. Castle a little late on the throw, trying to get the ball to Zach Miller. Beeson, Johnny on the spot.
You talk so much about #1 picks, and oftentimes we focus on the offensive star with a #1 pick. Beeson, a first-round selection back in 2007 out of Miami. He has started every game with the Panthers and led them in tackles every year he's played in the league. That's a #1 pick.
Yeah, when you can count, I saw an article. When you can see over the last 10 years, look at Pittsburgh, their #1 draft choices that are starting, and it is pretty impressive. I think it's like 8 of their last 10 #1 draft choices. That's the key. You're making good choices, and you're filling spots that you have needs for. And Beeson is a great example in Carolina as they try to build that proud franchise back up.
Well, talent does matter. And the good teams are built that way. You're exactly right. You look at the Baltimore Ravens defensively. Haloti Ngata inside, first-round draft choice. Terrell Suggs on the outside. Rush Presence, first-round draft choice. Ray Lewis, middle linebacker. Ed Reed in the back end. And then you can fill in with a bunch of second-day, third-day free agents. You can wrap yourself around it. That's how you build good football teams.
And not only that, you then become so familiar with the type of player that you will need to replace them that you actually can go out and find those sleepers, Tom Bryan, in the 3rd and 4th round, because everyone's going to be able to go out and get a Ray Lewis. They see Ray Lewis now, they'll draft that kid, but you'll now be able to take that information from 10, 12, 14 great years with that player and identify that with a draft choice down in the 3rd round, perhaps the 4th round.
And you just got to look at Adrian Wilson. There's a 3rd round pick
there you go.
The Cardinals, who has turned into just an outstanding player, playing in his 4th Pro Bowl. 3:33 left. 35 of the 55 points for the NFC have come off turnovers. Here's another late find. Moreeeee. He walked on at the University of Montana and was a 7th round pick. pretty good find.
And when you look at a guy like this, you always and you look at a Matt Castle. You look at Matt Castle at quarterback now, and you as an organization, if you're a good organization, you go back and ask yourself, well, how did we miss? How were we so wrong? How did we let Tom Brady go to the 6th round, including New England, who let him go by for 5 rounds? So they asked the same question: what did we do in our analysis? What were we wrong, and how did we not make that mistake again?
You know, you can understand sometimes, fellas, when you miss on a guy out of Shippensburg. But I got to tell you, it makes you wonder about the ability to, as we have a penalty flag on the sideline, to evaluate a quarterback. I mean, in Tom Brady, you're talking about a national championship winning collegiate quarterback at the all-time winningest school in the history of college football.
For illegal defense against the NFC. This 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. First down.
If you miss on a guy out of Shippensburg,
yeah, who knows? Who cares?
He's normally a 5th or 6th rounder or a free agent.
Right.
That 1st and 2nd, you don't want to miss on.
Right.
You don't. Jamarcus Russell, that's a huge mistake. You look at Ryan Leaf and the millions of dollars. That puts the Raiders way behind. That put the Chargers way behind. And you can't afford to miss on a quarterback. That's why Rocker and these guys are going to be heavily scrutinized now.
And here's the question I have for you, Terry. You were the first pick overall in the 70 draft from La Tech, Louisiana Tech. The way we scrutinize quarterbacks today, we worry about that. Do you think that it would have been wrong for not taking you in today's game? Would we have taken you with the first pick today?
No.
We wouldn't have taken that kind of chance.
I would have been in today's evaluation process. Seriously, I would have been probably a 3rd, maybe a 3rd rounder. 3rd rounder, not emotionally stable enough, not mature enough,
and
not sophisticated in an offense enough, not in the media, not savvy enough. Things bothered me. I needed a pat on my back. I had a lot of growing up to do. Chuck Noll did a fabulous job of whipping me into shape. But in today's evaluation process, I would not have been the first player taken. I'm not saying that hoping you guys say wonderful things. I'm telling you the truth. And there was even some question in 1970 as to whether or not I should be a running back or even a tight end. I played tight end, worked out at tight end in the North-South game.
No
you believe?
kidding.
Yes.
Wow.
Nice throw.
And that's the and Terry, I compliment you on bringing that up. And my point being that, and we would have been, you're exactly right. I think and we would have been wrong in doing so, because you're one of the great quarterbacks of all time. You've got the Super Bowl rings. You're in the Hall of Fame. And that was my point in asking the question. We have become so narrow in our thinking about what it takes to play in this league. We, in today's league, would have made that mistake about you, and you'd have been the 3rd round pick, and you'd have come in and you'd have beat the guy we drafted, and you'd have a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, and if I'd have got drafted this year in the 3rd round, I'd make myself some money.
Probably a lot more now than you were making with the...
I'm not about to say what I signed for, but I mean, no, but you're right. I mean, really, people say, I want my quarterback 6'5". We want Ben Roethlisberger. We want Phillip Rivers. We want Peyton Manning. And we say 6'5", 6'6", 6'4", 4'7", 4'7", 540. Throw all the routes great. And we do that test. You got to take
the Wonderlic.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Are you kidding me? I
quit.
got to take a Wonderlic test? No. Are you kidding me? If he's open, throw it to him. Golly. Have you seen those? I failed my Mensa test.
Ooh, how about those? Yeah, you're exactly right, but I want you. Look at those numbers. Those are rare numbers there, pal.
Through some very candid and open and honest assessment of yourself and where you'd be now. Let me ask you this, sir. When Brian and Coach Billick brought up to you early, what was the most important thing at quarterback? The first word snapped out of your mouth was poise. Did you have poise?
No. I had it. I had it in college, but I was totally baffled by the pros in my early part. I was clueless, totally clueless. Confidence was my problem. I lost my confidence so quickly.
Well, they snap off the play before the 2-minute warning, and it will be a touchdown to Montel Owens, his second touchdown of the game. The other came on a fumbled kickoff return. That'll make it 55-34.
Just missed on the tackle, man coverage underneath.
When you got up this morning, did you think we would have, what is that, 89 points?
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't know, but somewhere out there, somebody was paying attention just to how many points would be scored out there.
That's exactly right. I got to tell you, I was in a game one time when I was coaching at San Diego State. We lost to Oregon 62-60. My head coach said, you know what? I'd have thought 60 points would have been enough.
Point out who's good.
Today's game is sponsored by Sprint, the Now Network.
Well, 55-35. Teams combining for 90 points in the game. 2004's version of the Pro Bowl. The two teams combined to score 107 points, won by the NFC 55-52.
You like this being played before the Super Bowl, Terry?
Actually, I do, because after the Super Bowl, if you're in the Pro Bowl, man, you're so emotionally drained.
Yeah, I hate not having the Super Bowl guys here, but I do think it creates a little energy for the game. Nice lead-in, kickoff into the Super Bowl.
Onside kick handled by Adrian Peterson. And he's going to come back the other way. And he's dropped at the 29-yard line.
All right, I want to put you on the spot. I know you got to pick Pittsburgh and you want to do. Give me a score. Is it going to be a close game, or you can see one of them getting hot?
I actually think we'll have some big plays. I think big plays will win this game because of the aggressive style of both defenses, and I think it will be 30, 27, something like that. I actually see these quarterbacks are too good and too explosive. I know the defenses are, but you know, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Of course, one of the Pittsburgh Steelers would have been the youngest Pro Bowler to play in this year's game at only 21. Marquise Pouncey will not play in a Super Bowl game. That's a big hit for the Steelers.
Yep.
It is, particularly the way B.J. Raji's playing inside. Legursky played very well against the Jets, but that's going to be a heavy task for him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Pouncey, rookie.
Yeah,
rookie
how about that?
Going out and being selected to play in the Pro Bowl. Legursky coming in, though, he'll do a nice job. This guy's been in the league a few years. He'll do a nice job.
Well, our game from Honolulu today, produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Rich Dewey. Our pregame and halftime was produced by Barry Landis. Our associate directors are Charles McDonald and Wayne Wilson. And our broadcast associates Bill Cullen and Andy Cavanaugh. And up here in the booth, Laura Cavanaugh, Scott Snyder, Tom Barbary, Mike Eldridge, and Tyson Wacklish. We thank so many who work so hard. You know, we get to come out here and hang out for 4 or 5 days. But a lot of work involved, especially for the overwhelming majority of our crew. They bust their tail to get it on the air, and they'll be busting it hard after the game tonight, making their way to Dallas to bring you all the Super Bowl coverage right here on Fox. Brian, you'll be on your way to Dallas. Terry Bradshaw, you're on your way to Dallas.
I appreciate you guys allowing me to come up. I hope the tryout has been successful, and I look forward to be 3 people in the booth next year for our 16-game season. It's going to be fun.
We're ready for it.
Come see us anytime.
No, 16 games. You didn't
all
hear
16,
me, did you?
you got
all 16. I'll be in the background. Don't you worry. I'll stay out.
You're buying on Friday nights.
That's okay. I got people.
D'Angelo Hall, you saw, named the game's most valuable player from the Washington Redskins. Congratulations to Hall, who was not originally slated to be on the NFC team. Well, good for him. Well, you got to at least make us a promise. Next year you'll come to a game with us somewhere during the season.
Yeah,
Will you do that?
I think Howie Long and Jimmy Johnson, I know Strahan, Kurt would want me to leave because someone's got to do highlights, but I think I think those three would love for me to leave that studio. And so I promise you, I'll work with Scott Ackerson, the producer, and Ed Gorn, and all the guys, David Hill, and if y'all wouldn't mind me joining y'all for
we'd love it.
Few games, I'd relish the opportunity.
You're in. You're in.
I mean, this is where you should be, right?
That's exactly right. Watching the action, you're going to be right there. Now, will you be sitting on the field? I mean, do you know, right
Yes.
there on the field in Dallas?
I haven't seen where we are.
Okay.
I hear it's a great place. Now, when the kickoff starts, I go from the booth. I will go down on the field. I won't go inside. I'll stay down.
You know, I don't think this is a stupid question. Have you been in the new stadium in Arlington?
No.
I was getting ready to say, I bet you probably haven't. You're not going to believe it.
No, I have not.
No, I'm too busy laying out red carpets and elsewhere.
I'm not quite sure why the AFC would be spending a timeout here, but they are.
Well, yeah, timeout to burn. You always say you don't want to go into the game with in the locker room with a timeout. He's a purist, you know.
Matt Castle just throwing it up for grabs, incomplete. 41 seconds left.
That's the 58-yarder. Nice. Yeah.
Peyton's down there pleading. He's saying, look, you got to be in a 3 deep. And I'm seeing defensive linemen drop underneath these Hail Marys. There should be an illegal defense. Look at Peyton. He's fighting to the end. What the heck's with that defense? It's supposed to be a 3 deep. See, he's lobbying for the officials. Except for the illegal defenses, we didn't have a penalty call the whole game.
Yeah,
Shows you can be done.
Yeah, no blitzes either. No one got mad enough and went on their own. Here we go, boys. This could be good.
And still on his feet is Owens. Going to pitch it to the center, Alex Mack. And he's going to score. He's snuck in the end zone, and he will get there. Alex Mack from the Cleveland Browns.
Now, see, that's good right there. I like that. That's fun.
Now we see why I used the timeout.
There you go.
We stand corrected.
How about that?
Now, see, that is something that young man, Alex Max, is going to remember.
Yeah, that ball's going on his trophy case.
No doubt about it.
And good for him. Or good on you, mate, as they say, you know.
Good for him, indeed. And now he's got to go back and snap the point after.
I hope he's in shape. He's been off a while.
This ball's going to launch over the holder's head. You watch. He's winded.
Well, I'm not up on the rules, obvious, but can you
I don't
go
think
for
that's
two?
legal.
You can't go for two.
I thought you meant throwing to the center.
No.
Yeah, no, you can go for two.
You can't go for two? How much time we got here? Oh, yeah, let's get two, and then let's go onside kick.
This will tie the record if you score here, won't it? No, I'm short. I'm short. It was 107.
Is that BYU math?
Yeah, I know. It's that, I'm afraid to say my math skills are.
But how about Alex Mack? Terry, you said, I mean, Brian, Coach, will he ever forget this moment of his life? Never. He'll live to be 108.
Look at this. A lot of heavy rush going on here. Look at he's falling. God love him. Come on, pitch it back here.
And good for Owens. Pitching it to the center.
Defensive guys are, oh, come on now. Let's stop.
Give me the ball.
There you go.
Look at that. Watch his tackle.
He was trying to pitch it to Bo.
Watch his tackle. Hey, what did we do? Whoa. Roman Harper saying, I've never seen a guy with a 55 this far down the field.
I'll tell you what Roland Harper did. Roland Harper looked at him and went, you got to be kidding me.
Got the ball in the outside arm.
Yeah, smart running.
Good coaching.
Bet you anything he played fullback in high school.
Yeah, probably did.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him.
That would lead the scoring in Cleveland this year.
Good for you, young man.
Yeah, look at him, buddy.
He's every former offensive lineman's hero right now that has stayed around to watch the end of this game.
Oh, and he better hope he's on a plane out here, because if not, if he stays until tomorrow, he's buying rounds for the entire hotel.
You're saying he's got a hole-in-one?
Oh, a hole-in-one. Oh, my gosh. You better get on a flight out, young man. Yeah, we got Matt Castle covering the kickoff here. Yep. This is definitely the Pro Bowl. Matt Castle over here, the
Billy
quarterback.
Cundiff's not going to kick it. They're going to let Michael Griffin kick it. And Miles Austin has it. He'll take a knee one more time, and that'll wrap this thing up.
We think.
We think. It almost appeared as though those last couple of plays that Bill Belichick spent the time out, that he's trying to get Matt Castle to get Bo a touchdown. On those last couple of plays, they threw the deep one to Bo from Castle, didn't work. Then they got the pitch, it was supposed to go to Bo, and Mac stepped right in front of him.
You know it's a good day. Bill Belichick smiling. Good day all the way around.
Well, that'll do it. The NFC has won 3 of the last 4 games. Final today of 55-41. And we'll be back to wrap things up from Honolulu in a moment.